Good morning, people. Good afternoon and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. But more importantly, I say to you, Blue Morning, because it is indeed the Blue Morning Show. Today, we're going to talk about Christian Pulisic requesting a meeting with Thomas Tuchel. We're going to also talk about Reece James meeting with Todd Boehly. We're going to also talk about Jules Kounde visiting London. And also, we will talk about the status of the Chelsea takeover process. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. Yes, people, blue morning to you all. Please give me just a second to take a sip of my coffee so I don't lose my voice. And it's also 3:20 a.m. here. And it's a good one. And Nick, sorry, I can't offer you one. But more importantly, Nick, how are you doing, brother?
Yeah, hi, Coach. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, can you hear me loud and clear? I hear.
Yes, I can hear
Can you
you. I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Oh,
Yeah, your
all
mic
right,
is
just to make sure.
sounds great
It's
today.
great.
Sounds great today. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
Nick,
depends on the
how's
weather.
everything with you?
Yeah,
Yeah. Go
yeah, I'm
ahead. Go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah, I'm okay. I heard a bit of news. Someone very close to Chelsea Football Club said in the next 24 hours, Todd Boehly should be moving in Roman Abramovich's office. That's the good
Yeah.
news. I said it'd be this
Yeah.
week. Early
Hmm.
this week, I predicted it. That's what the rumors are going. It should be done this week.
Hmm.
If not
We,
tomorrow, it could be very soon. Yeah,
we will talk about it again. We've heard that like a million times since the start of the sale. We all thought it was going to be just within a
yeah.
month like this. It will be done.
But
But that's
it will be
yeah.
done. The
Hmm.
other thing
I
I
hope
heard,
so.
some rumors about on Twitter about Roman Abramovich's assets, illegal
Hmm.
assets, coming out. Rumors coming out offending Roman again as usual. I don't like it at all. I don't. We know he made his money. He done dodgy deals before he came to Chelsea. We know that.
We were not even there, so we cannot categorically say that's the case.
Yeah,
Let's
but
just move
have you
ahead.
seen?
Go ahead.
Have you seen, Coach? Have you seen the rumors today coming out?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I'll ask you for an update. When I do that, you can go ahead and talk about it. But overall, you're doing it
Yeah, I
well.
don't like to hear any slander against Roman.
There's no slander.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
not doing
fine,
that here,
fine,
Nick.
Coach.
I understand. Okay, brilliant.
No, I mean, yeah,
I
not
want to.
here, but what I see on Twitter, I don't like. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, yeah. I understand what you're saying, Nick. Nick, one thing I want to say is this: we're going to start by talking about Christian Pulisic requesting a meeting with
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I said it yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Nick, your mic. You might want to go out and come back. Your mic is breaking up.
Did you know I said? I said Tuchel has to meet with Pulisic and discuss exactly what to do. You either stay.
Yeah, you see,
Sure.
everybody else's mic is off. I think you might have to go.
Hear me now?
You have to go. Yeah, just reset your internet and call back because it will happen again.
Coach, can you hear me? Oh, all right.
Yeah, I can hear you, but it might happen again. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nick. All right, looks like we've lost Nick. I don't know why I can't hear him. Declan, welcome to the show. How you doing, brother?
Good morning. How is everyone?
Good morning to you too. Everyone is good. Nick is good. He's just having an issue with his connection is
Yeah, I
his
got that effect. Yeah,
it's not
when I'm
so
around,
yeah, yeah.
things
Go ahead, Declan. I
everything
want to
doesn't work
ask
around
you,
him.
yeah. Your thoughts on the news that Christian Pulisic is requesting a meeting with Thomas Tuchel.
They should all be requesting a meeting. Everyone should be requesting a meeting in that team.
Mm-hmm.
No one's been good enough. We all want so many players in. Everyone should be having that meeting to see where they're at in the team. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people I think should go too, and they should be a part of it. Not just, I wanted Pulisic to stay because there is glimpses in his game where he was just phenomenal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then and then he's had so many injuries as well. And for me, he's still young. There's still a lot of potential with him, and there's still room for improvement. And 2 years with Tuchel, or 1.5, or whatever, however you want to look at it, um, he's probably more. He's more conditioned with how Tuchel wants to play, and just needs to stay fit. So there's way more players that I want to leave before him.
Yeah, I feel the same. And maybe you could say a little bit of bias on my end because I'm an American too. But the truth is, even you could say it's not based on form alone. On occasions, he's been quite unlucky in and out of the team. And by the time he comes back, somebody else is doing well in the team. He hardly finds spaces. But when again he gets in a few games, he gets injured, or maybe in the case of recent games, he's been poor. So the question remains. I want to ask you, Nick. What do you think about that meeting? Your thoughts? I know you were talking, but you had issues with your mic.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. Yeah, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was saying yesterday, they're going to have to sit down and talk because he's a good player still. I don't, I like Pulisic. I said it. I like Pulisic. It's just I was a bit going crazy at him for missing all those chances in the cup final, which we should have won if he
Mm.
only scored one goal. I will criticize any player, but I don't hate the players like some people. I criticize, but I don't hate. That's a big difference. I'm not talking about declaring some other people much worse than declare. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, that was true.
Go
Anyway,
ahead, Nick.
Pulisic will sit down with Tuchel and won't, Tuchel will tell him, I think he's going to give him a chance. And he's like, all he wants is game time. He's going to ask for more game time. That's what it's about. So it's up to
Yeah.
Tuchel. Can Tuchel promise him that? Or we don't know exactly what he's going to say to him, but I think Tuchel will make him stay. He's a great manager, don't forget. And Tuchel, does admire Pulisic. He never, put him down. He doesn't put his players down. No one at all. So
Hey,
I think
Nick, can
I
I
think
ask
he
you?
will stay. Wait a minute. I think he will stay next year. I don't think we're going to sell him because, like we said yesterday, we can't afford to sell hardly any of our attackers because we need to fix the defense, which we need at least 4 new players. So yeah, I think he will stay.
We'll see. Declan, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say, can anyone be promised game time?
No,
Like, I don't think anyone should be promised any game
but
time.
no,
No one's been good enough.
Yeah, they're not being promised game time. You understand what I'm trying to say?
So he's with you, Nick.
Pulisic,
He's with you. He's just saying something from a different perspective, saying nobody's going to be promised that.
yes, I know. That's what. Yeah, I know that. I'm not talking about that. No one. Tuchel can't promise.
You're saying Pulisic going to sit down with Tuchel and be promised, and none of them should be. Anyone should
say, and I have to prove it. If he wants to stay, if he wants to go, it's up to.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that anyone that asks for game time, well, anyone that asks to be promised game time shouldn't. No one should be promised any game time. No one's been good enough, and they have to prove it.
But not promising game time. It's at least, getting more minutes than what he's been getting this year. Apart from all the injuries, don't forget he's been dropped when he scored a goal. He's been dropped here, there. He's been on the bench, so he's frustrated. So,
let me ask this question, Nick. Then I'll go to Declan himself. Let me ask you this question. When we talk about players asking for game time, any idea what that is? How do you think they'd phrase it? Like he wants to start the whole game or asking for a certain number of games? Is what the case is? Because this is Chelsea, and the fact is we cannot say he'd be asking to start the whole 38 Premier League games, for instance. Would they be asking at least 50% of the whole game? Or
no,
that.
No
one games to play, and it's no. Yeah, go ahead, Declan.
Sorry, you cut out, so I thought you were waiting. You stopped asking the question.
No, I'm saying go ahead.
Yeah. So no one directly asks for game time, and in the numbers that you just spoke, right? Players really ask where they fit in the team and their role and their chances of making the first team. So if a manager simply doesn't see that player fitting their system, then they know. Then they got no chance, right? Or if the manager sees you got to do.
Usually hear.
Yeah, so Tuchel might give him, well, I need you to do this, that, and you got to prove on this, and so on, and then he'll give you a chance, and then you got to prove yourself, and that's usually how it goes. But where Pulisic's frustration might be is that, well, I've done this, that, and I'm still not getting the chances that I deserve, which is how he would feel and a player feels, and that would be the discussion on what he needs to do, what he thinks he needs to do, and there could be a disagreement. And if there's a disagreement, he'll push for a leave. And this is when I brought up Ziyech is going to be in the same boat, because Ziyech will feel the same. I've done so and so. I've actually hit a good patch of form. I got dropped, and then I didn't get my chances again. Lukaku might feel the same too. Where's my position? Because he was worried so quickly that he even did an interview about it, saying that the system's changed. So he's probably going to question, well, are we going to change it for me? And Werner as well. So everyone is going to do what Pulisic has done, right? And wonder where they fit, and everyone wants to play. And obviously throughout the season, Tuchel would have said, I need this, that, and then you get in. And Loftus-Cheek did that, and that's why he got into play some round, even in different positions, because he wanted to play that bad that he tried to learn at different positions to get into. And even under Sarri, he did that. That's what he liked, because Sarri told him what he needed to do. He did it, and that's how he got in the team. And that's how most of the time it goes. There's none of this. Well, I'll give you, this many matches in the year. There's no agreement like that.
Usually the language is as simple as am I in your plans, because that's the language we hear from the coaches too. Nick, you want to add anything to that before I go to the chat and greet the people there and see what they have to say?
Yeah, because you ain't gonna say you get so much. You're gonna get 10 minutes here.
No numbers.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about. He hasn't been playing enough, like Ziyech. Him will have the same conversation probably. They want to, confirm their futures. Do they stay at Chelsea, or do they have a future at Chelsea? That's what it's about. This game time. We're just calling it game time. Well, I don't know why, but anyway, coach started that off saying game time.
Yeah. But here's the thing, Nick, no matter how you see it, the reason they request a meeting with the coach is game time, because they haven't played enough. It is a concern for them.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. It comes to the same thing. End of the day, do they have a future? And are they going to be happy what Tuchel tells them? So I know Tuchel will want them to stay right now, because we can't get many attackers. If we do get any, because we have to fix that defense, And if Jorginho decides to go, well, there's midfield problems as well. And there is anyway, because Kante is getting along. There's only Kovacic we can rely on. So we need defense and midfield. Forget that the attack will be the same next year. It probably be even Werner might even end up staying because of all the problems we have. At the end of the day, it's up to Boehly, and Boehly's coming in soon. He's packing his briefcase right now as I speak, and he's going to be on the way to the bridge very soon. I'll guarantee you that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let me read some stuff in the chat. Some, if it doesn't align with what we're talking at the moment, I'll just highlight it. Like this one from True Blue. Sorry, guys. If at any time you stop hearing from me, my internet is just acting up. I pay a lot of money for it. I'm not sure. So you guys can continue the conversation. It says there's no obstacle. Portugal can just revoke the passport, which is under investigation anyway. Confirmation expected by tomorrow. So I'm going to highlight this when we'll talk about it in detail when we start talking about Roman. Here he says, again, my system is so slow. I'm not sure why. It says this comment here says the Portugal issue is also debunked. The idea Romana would buy a Spanish club. Yep, that makes sense. I've watched this video and thank you for sharing it regarding what he said about Neymar's behavior towards the firing of Thomas Tuchel. This one says, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you too, Nick. You were in the chat, now you're everywhere. And I see Liam saying, Liam, blue morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Nick Blue again, this is just greetings. Conversations between you guys, everybody in the chat there. I don't think there's anything to address right now. Let me be careful here not to miss anyone. I think that's a huge jump here. I'm just gonna be careful. Blue morning to you too, Liam. I hope you're doing a blue morning to my friend and brother, CFC for him. And if you haven't, please be sure to go check out his channel. And Gabriel Obas, you know the tradition. He says, blue morning, everyone. Blue morning to you too, brother. And congratulations again for winning the giveaway the other day. He says, good morning, everyone. Blue morning to you too, Akira. I hope you're well. And blue morning to True Blue. Sorry if I haven't said that before to you. Again, he says he's going to try talking about his position and more playing time. Exactly, that's the thing. Whether he is in Thomas Tuchel's plan or not. A ton of the floundering coming. Okay, that's another thing there. Again, my system, I want Pulisic to stay. However, his performance is saying otherwise at the moment. I think I'd like him to stay. If we can be patient with him, that would be nice. After all, he's still young. I wouldn't even consider a loan move. If we risk a loan in him, the next option would be consider leaving the club. So I'd keep him. We've seen flashes of what he can do if he can stay fit. And it looks like he's, for quite some time right now, he's been fit. He hasn't gotten injured. So Pulisic, if he stays, should work on his finishing connection with other forwards players. His dad is probably in his head. Only again, I'm not sure about that. Blue morning to you, Suleiman, and limitless blue morning. He's not going anywhere. New American owners are good for American market, so he is staying. Declan, can you quickly address this one also? I know you alluded to it the other day when you talked. The fact that we have American owners, but not completely American owners, do you think that in any way will influence the decision on whether Christian Pulisic stays or leaves the club?
Yeah, I think with what Todd Boehly said, I think there's a strong need for him to stay on Todd Boehly's side, on the business side, right? But if he really wants to leave, it might be hard to get him to stay. From Todd Boehly, I think he's keen to have him stay, just because of what he wanted to do in the American market, especially, and having Pulisic will help immensely in that. So I think because Todd Boehly has actually been vocal, anyone can go see that interview. That was before he bought Chelsea, and it's something he was keen on. So I think that could play a big part, and then we might actually see something about maybe on pressure on Tuchel to actually have to play him. I have no idea how Todd Boehly is going to run run the club, and that could be the case. You could see more of Pulisic, just because Todd Boehly promised him game time, and then told Pulisic to play. So I, I, I hope that's not the case. I hope that's not the club we're going to become. But on the Todd Boehly, I'm pretty sure Todd Boehly wants and probably even needs him to stay to achieve that goal he wanted to achieve in the American market.
Here's
It's got
another
nothing to do with
point.
shirts and
Yeah.
that. It's just that window. He said that window in America where there's no sports on, and that's the market he wanted to dominate.
Mm. Nick, your thoughts on that? Do you agree
Yeah.
with what Declan just said? That will influence the decision on whether to keep or sell Christian Pulisic.
I don't know. I don't think about influencing Tuchel, because Boehly already said he spoke with Tuchel and he's backing Tuchel all the way. Coming to Pulisic, of course, Boehly will want him to stay, but he ain't going to stop Tuchel from making the final decision. That's 100%. So he's not. Boehly won't interfere. He's not going to do what Roman used to do. He said it already in his interview. So it's up to Tuchel what happens with the players. The player side, the football side is Tuchel's. And
I understand, but if in fact you believe, let's assume, Nick, if we say now, okay, we think it will, if in fact influence the decision on whether to keep or sell Christian Pulisic.
No.
Now, if they decide to keep him, how are they going to deal with that situation with the manager?
Yeah, if Tuchel wants him, and
let's assume Tuchel don't want him, don't really rate that much. Because to me, if you ask me, I'd say even at Dortmund, you'd say that Thomas Tuchel sees Christian Pulisic as an impact player that he can pull off the bench and put on to go, make something happen. So if in fact the Americans, they want him to stay, and Tuchel agrees, they explain to him it's for business sake. Do you think that? What do you think happens if that's the case?
No, there won't be no influence. They said it. Boehly said it. In his interview even, he said he's backing Tuchel to do with the players, anything to do with the players. The ones he wants, the ones he doesn't want, they're going to back him. They admire him and they're backing him. That's what he said. But there might be something that might say to Tuchel, we can, we'll have all this money coming in from America and all that. That nothing will stop them talking, but the final decision is Tuchel's and Pulisic. If they agree, if Pulisic agrees to stay, and if Tuchel wants him, that's what's going to happen. Okay,
I agree. I understand your own point. You don't think in any way that will affect the relationship of the owners with Thomas Tuchel. Do you think otherwise? Because it's a risk.
Yeah, because they said it from the beginning. They're not going to do that.
Okay.
So,
but in some cases, let me go to Declan. I get your point, Nick. You're banking on their promise not to do that. Nick, Declan, sometimes you do things unintentionally without even knowing, believing that in the near future, something that is what you did will not degenerate into an issue. But if this happens in terms of what I explained, there's a chance it creates a problem, even though that wasn't, the intention.
Exactly, but who cares? Regardless of promise, anything, you have no idea how it's going to be run. I have no idea how, the Lakers and that are run, but they're big name players in Lakers and Dodgers, apparently. So when you got big name players, maybe they run the club. It's kind of a big problem at Man United. They run like that. Where we need to make Tuchel probably the bigger focal point in this whole thing. So he should get a massive say, just in the same status as Pep and Klopp have, because it did come out that that Chelsea went for Klopp and Pep on more than one occasion to become our managers, and they turned us down because they felt that we would never give them the time to build a team, and that's been a problem at Chelsea. that we're probably never given, besides Mourinho, time for any manager to really get their team going and how they want to play. And if you don't succeed from as soon as you get here, you're out the door pretty soon. So I hope one of the biggest positives for me was that changes with Boehly. And if that's going to change with Boehly, then it should be whatever Tuchel says, and anything we're talking about shouldn't even matter.
I understand. I think that's a great way to see
Yeah,
it again.
Point, another
yeah, go
point
ahead. Mm-hmm.
is, even with that interview, Boehly did say something about giving Tuchel the power. We know he admires him, and giving him the power to do, like he said, he will do better than Roman. That's what he said. For like Liverpool and City have done with Klopp and Pep, backing them and giving them years to make them where they are now. That's what Boehly wants. That's what he idea. That's why I think he will back Tuchel and do. And Tuchel will have the last say who he wants and who he doesn't want.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think I will, in a beat, again, try to catch up with the chat so I'm not too far behind. Again, we have quite a lot to talk about today. And here's NS Spot TV saying hi to you, my brother. Welcome to the channel. And if you haven't, please take a second to like the video wherever you're watching from, whether on YouTube, whether on Facebook, Twitter. If you want to be part of the giveaway, you have to join us here on YouTube. And please take a second to like the video. And as you like the video, it triggers the Google algorithm, and the show will be pushed to more people who would be interested in this particular topic. So please do that for us. And more importantly, do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And again, as promised, if we have up to at least 150, I said 200 before, but 150 people watching, we will do a $50 giveaway. Big up to you two, NS Sports, and welcome to the channel. Accurate says it's a younger prospect. No, I think it's gone beyond the prospect this time, but the direction of the club and the coach should be above his personal desire. Again, this is a delicious comment. I like that you round it off with the way. What I'd always say, the managers, that we must get the manager what he wants and not what the player wants. Shouldn't trump what the manager wants. Good. When will Jules Kounde be announced as a player? Not sure, because the fact is, given the restrictions on the club, we cannot complete the signing, in the sense that we're not allowed to sign contracts. We can talk to player, negotiate, but we're not allowed to put pen to paper. So that's why you can just speculate. Maybe there's a chance, there's a possibility he gets announced after the sanctions are lifted and we get to negotiate with finalize things with Sevilla, which is the club he plays for, because the whole talks at the moment, the whole thing we've been hearing at the moment, just he's agreed. He himself, Jules Kounde, has agreed his personal terms with Chelsea Football Club and not the club. Not his club themselves, because the club, you could argue, are some very difficult to negotiate with. They're very corny, if you ask me. We're in this situation because they want us to take us for a ride. They knowing that we had already sold what's his name, Kurt Zuma, to West Ham United. They changed the price after negotiating with us and agreeing for the sales price, because they knew we're desperate at that point. They changed the price, and we said we didn't allow them to take us for a ride. And thanks to Marina, because that would have been an issue. Pulisic out, says the CFC Maddie. Todd Boehly, Chelsea Blues. Again, that's your opinion, and you're allowed. We're losing 3-4 defenders, selling a keeper. Saul will depart with Barkley. So the club need to stop with some departures. Declan, do you have a response to that quickly so that I can try and catch up with the chat?
Yeah, I did reply to True Blue.
Okay, you have
I didn't
already.
even mention anything about departures yet. He started on me, so I guess he was continuing from yesterday. So it was great. You're going to see a lot of that.
Maybe you're already looking for a fight with you, right?
Yeah, he got his morning coffee. He's ready, but he stopped answering me, so I was good to go.
And I think he's already fought with Nick already a bit. but not really a fight. It's just a conversation, but I get more like an argument. But I get that too. The political issue also, I think we will look at that when we start talking about Roman. Here says, let me see. This is a link. I think this is a link to the Neymar thing. Yeah, again, this is just pleasantries. Let me see. Greetings between the people here. Let me see what I will find here. Morning, coach. Morning to you too, Lamb. I think I've read all this ones. Did I just go back? Okay, he turned. Okay, yep. I think I went back. I've read this also. I read this. Sorry for taking you guys a big. I think I read that one too. I think that was the last one I read. I like Pulisic. This in life, no limits. And again, please, if you're watching, if you haven't, it takes just a second to like the video. Please do like the video and more, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. He says, I like a Pulisic, but the team comes first. And that's the truth. If he's ready to be a team player, then great. If not, let him go. And we cash in on here. But I suspect the American owners would want him around for PR and commerce. That's another way to see it. But again, you must look at it from the player's own perspective. The most important question remains, would Christian Pulisic himself, be content with, in most cases, coming off the bench to impact games? Because it's clear now, it's become clear that's how Tuchel sees him. If you check his time under Thomas Tuchel at Dortmund, it is the same thing. He often likes to bring him off the bench. Especially after the emergence of what's this kid that Manchester United signed, the English international. As sports not before Boehly is confirmed, we cannot sign anybody again. Yes, that's just confirming what I thought. We should be. That is expecting announcement of new signings, to come after the completion of the sales process and Boehly takes over the club. CFC Matty, great support. Yeah, but it says Javado and Paul Torres. I think we'll talk about later. It said Rafinha and Nkunku. Again, Rafinha, I heard from True Blue already has an agreement in place with Barcelona. I think that's the case. A question for Declan. What do you think are the departures of Kevin De Bruyne, Mata, and Salah? Declan, do you want to answer this? You already answered that. Okay, thank you very much. That makes it easier for us. No to Kounde. He is short. Again, this is the argument I've seen people make regarding Jules Kounde. The fact is he?
He's 5'10". What are people saying about?
Yeah, exactly. And he can lift.
Yeah.
And he can lift too. Yeah, Nick, are you concerned about Jules Kounde's height?
No, I've seen him play, not much, but what I've seen, he has a great leap. He can head the ball. So I'm not worried about his height. I know he's not tiny anyway, but for a defender he is, but he has the leap. He has
he has quite a leap in him, and that's no joke.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick. You were saying something. Go ahead, Nick.
I said I can't wait till he will be the first signing. He's waiting for.
Yeah, I think it's a microphone issue again. Go ahead, Nick.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Go ahead.
Put mic on mic.
Okay,
Nick,
you think it's Declan's mic? Okay, let me mute him. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, when he's muted, I can tell when he's muted because it's clear.
All right. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I would love Kounde. He will be our first signing, and the main thing is he's been waiting to come to Chelsea for a long time now. And
you don't think the height will be an issue?
He has a leap. If it wasn't, we wouldn't be going after him. Now, Tuchel's been watching him. He knows what he's about, and we shouldn't have an issue with that. Plus, we have to replace Rudiger and Christensen with some tall players. Koulibaly could be one, and the Kielman of Wolves could be he's very tall. I think you like him as well.
I do like him, and again, remember before when I heard that we wanted to sign him, I did a video with my brother and friend Tyrone such Steve, my scouting for Chelsea series. We talked about him in
Yeah.
detail, and that was when I learned. Again, I've seen him. I wasn't sure about his height. He talked about how he can leap, and I did some research and I followed him, watched a few games. Yeah, he can leap quite well, so his height isn't an issue for me. And here, go ahead.
Yeah, so we shouldn't worry about that.
No, we shouldn't. We
We've
shouldn't.
got things to worry about.
Yeah.
If we can get the other defenders, which we badly need,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope Shomeni, but Shomeni is where he sounds like he could be going to Liverpool. It sounds like bad for us. Let's see
Yeah.
what happens. That.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what happens indeed.
Because when
The
you put your
irony
mi-
is,
Wait a minute.
it was on mute. I wanted to talk.
Yeah, I know when you're mute. Yeah, I know when your mic is on because I can hear it.
Okay,
No,
Nick,
no,
you can type that in private chat. People are watching
It's
us.
words
We're not
per
here
minute.
to.
Nick.
Yeah.
If you talk too much, it starts to cut you out.
No, dude, when you,
Go ahead,
there's only
Declan. Go ahead. People are watching us. We're not here to entertain them with our own
know.
personal arguments. But he understands now, Nick. Go ahead, Declan.
The irony is that no one ever said that about Silva, and there's only 5 centimeters the difference between Kounde and Silva.
Wait, let me
and,
ask this: Is Silva short?
No one said no one ever came out and said Silva's short, but there's only 5 centimeters difference between Kounde and Silva. And obviously, Kounde is probably more athletic with his being a lot younger as well. So no one ever came out and said was worried about Silva being short. So I don't know why everyone's starting this argument. And plus, it's not that we need really tall defenders. We need defenders priority really good on the ball first of all, and his ball skills has been compared to a midfielder. So that's why he'll be important in our team, and I'm so keen for him to come in because that's what we need foremost. Not players that are just 6'4" or something like that, really tall defenders.
Yeah. Again, I don't think it's a lot of people. A lot of people aren't really concerned. I think it's just some people. I've talked about his height before, even in the video I make, but still he has a great leap in him. That makes a huge difference. SCFU, again, your names cast the heck out of me to read because you know what FU sounds like, but I'm just kidding anyway. I think you mean for you. I would like the back line to be sorted out before we focus on anything else, and I think that's the way the club will approach it, and hopefully there'll be time enough. I know the club thinks otherwise, but hopefully the club will approach it in that manner, sort out the bigger issue first, and then we take it from there. And give me a message on Twitter, Coach. I will explain on the stream. Okay, just send me a Twitter message, and I'll send you the link in a bit so that you will join and voice your opinion. You're always welcome to do so. Let me know when you do that already. All our attackers are frustrated, and I think that adds to their inconsistency. And again, I wouldn't blame wouldn't blame their inconsistency solely on them. Or I think Tuchel is partly to blame. While I love Tuchel so much, I think in most cases he necessarily plays players out of position against that. That's just me. I hope they're glad, and Nick don't punch me. And also, again, rotation is good. Rotation, while it is good to ensure that players don't burn out, it also, it can be detrimental to the development of chemistry between players. And since we signed all these players, you could argue none of them have played a stretch of games or, for a long time. It's been an in, out for even the best of the players except for Reece James before he got injured. Mason Mount also. But that's, by the way, again, let me see. Matt, nice to see you here, Matt at Boehly. Again, if you have time, guys, go and check out Matt's YouTube channel. Subscribe. Him, CFC Fahim, some of the fastest growing YouTube channels. And believe me, you want to be part of the story. Here we have... Says, while at the gym, okay, yeah, thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. You not did the same for you too. CFC Steven, also, you have to inbox me and ask for the link because we're being cautious here. There's been some, you could say unwarranted behavior towards content creators. Two of my fellow content creators got sabotaged where somebody came onto the panel, and before you know it, showing nude pictures on the screen, and their channels got suspended. It took a while before they were able to get it back. So we want to keep track of whoever we're sharing the link with. So if anything goes wrong, we'll know exactly where the problem is coming from. So I'm sorry about that. We'll stop sharing links in the chat. Can we at least fix the immediate problems before focusing on Pulisic? Yeah, we're just having a conversation because we learned that he's requested a meeting with Thomas Tuchel. So that's why we are talking about it. And again, it's a priority because if he wants to leave, it adds to the problem we have already. So that's why we're talking about it. Declared, I'm asking you, don't answer with a question and stop putting words in Lukaku's mouth. I think we should start calling you Lukaku's lawyer at this point. But I get your argument too. It says Pulisic leaving gets Ederson Kounde for a transfer to Chelsea along with his teammate defender. It's not that simple. You should know that already. CFC Steven sent me a message and you get the link in a bit. I really don't care about the markets BS. I need results. Again, it's not going to be that simple. Under Roman, you'd be rest assured that we'll be signing players no matter the prices. But I think that has changed. Again, if you haven't, please, we have about 100. We have 130 people watching, and we have just 40 likes. Come on, people, we can do better than that. So if you haven't, take a second to like the video to help us reach more people, because the truth is the more people we have here, the more fun we're going to be having. So please, I expect you to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me try and catch up, and then I'll share the link with those that I haven't. I see the owners here. And again, big up, guys. Adrian Wafula, big up to you. Adrian, nice to see you here. Again, CFC, this is just a conversation. Let me see if there's anything to address. Guy, this is business. If Todd Boehly wants to conquer the U.S. market, he will need a Captain America. It is only logical. We've talked about that, but our concern is, will that create an issue between the owners and the manager? Because it will seem as if he's obliged. It's like imposing Pulisic on him if that's the case. And another question you have to ask yourself: yes, it is business, but would Christian Pulisic be content with sitting out on the bench and only coming off the bench as an impact player? I don't think so. I think he's a confident player and he knows what he's capable of doing. And it's a World Cup year and would want to play as often as possible, because he's not really, if you look at the US players now, up and coming players, you see that's the chances soon he will no longer be the face of the US soccer or football, whichever one you prefer to call it. Again, I'm going to try to catch up quickly and then share the link. Just skip a bit. Julius, more true. This is just a conversation. I will come back to everything I've missed. I'm highlighting especially True Blue's comments because he's very knowledgeable. Whatever a man says before he gets what he was, it's one thing. Let's see let's see if he changes. I think I need to highlight that one so we can get to it in a bit. Somebody asked for the link here. I think I'm way too far behind, so I'm just going to skip and catch up and then start reading people's comments. I got, when some Chelsea fans love players as individuals, not their output or performances. Again, that happens all the time. We see that all the time. I hope not. I really want Tuchel's contract extended. I think that will happen. They respect him. Kounde, don't deal. You could argue that, but you want to say it's a don't deal until we finalize the transfer fee with Sevilla. Yeah, you can. You can if you know him, if you trust him, just send it to him. Thank you very much. So Nick, coming back to you, let's talk about Reece James. I think we can. I all agree. I think we've rounded the topic on Christian Pulisic. Let's talk about Reece James. We're hearing that he's met with Todd Boehly, and how important is that? Do you think it is, or do you think it would create an issue whereby other players will feel less important? Because the fact it is out there that he's met with him, maybe he's met with Mason Mount. We don't know. But Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, Reece James, he's the first player we have to tie down. He deserves it. He's been one of our best this season, and he's getting better every game I see him. You know, we can't afford not to tie him down. And I think Boehly, that's what they're talking about. He will get the contract, and a few other players as well will. You know, you can't do everything at the same time. I'm sure he will come to Mason Mount and a couple of others. But Reece James, he's talking to Reece James because he knows how important Reece James is for this team. He's a major player. He's more important than Mason Mount for me. He's more important than all the youngsters we have right now, even the ones on loan. He's the main man. He will get a contract, and he deserves it. You know, there's no better player at Chelsea. Not many better players right now than Reece James. And I'll keep saying why. I don't know why Mason Mount got player of the season.
Nick, I will argue that you and I can start a fight with that one. You're not going to win it. Yeah. Numbers don't lie. It's simple as that.
Silva was first. Rudiger was second. Reece James was third. Mason Mount, you know, is maybe fourth. Yeah, give him fourth place. But these are conspiracy against Silva, and I don't like Johnny's attitude and some of the other haters.
Yeah. Here's one thing I also want to let you know, Nick. Silva is actually that kind of player. Even if you want to vote him as the best player of the season, he's the kind of player that would say, okay, you know what, give it to this player as a motivation, you know, to push him even further to do more. That's the kind of player he is. So I wouldn't be concerned that much about who's won it. But believe me, I would argue tomorrow that. Go ahead, but we'll get to that. Remember, we still have the season's review. We'll review the season, so let's not talk about that topic right now, if you would agree.
Yeah, but it's not about Mason Mount. It's about our fan base, the way they think and act. What I don't like.
Okay, Nick, can we leave it to when we get to talking about the review of the season?
Okay,
yeah. So, but I think you've answered my question. I'm going to bring Declan in. The fact that it is out there that Reece James has met with Todd Boehly, and there's no way to tell if each of the players has met him individually, because the statement, except if Pies is lying, states that is quoting Reece James, "I've met with him," which means they met individually. Don't you think that creates a problem already with some players feeling less important? Or maybe it's just if the media is twisting the whole thing, not exactly what happened, because I don't think Thomas Tuchel would want it to come out that he met with a single player and have him met with others individually too. I don't know if you get my point.
I do, and I kind of brought up my answer. I said it before. They would have all met up with the new owner. They would have all met up with Tuchel. Everything's changing. I don't think Reece James is special. I think Reece James is the only one that's been asked and given an answer. But I'm sure that the whole team, or the players that are staying at least, have had a meeting and talked of probably how they feel and where they're at and the future, and Tuchel as well. I think the plan under Roman, there would have been a plan under them, right? And I'm sure maybe Tuchel's giving more leeway, and now maybe Tuchel has a different plan. So there's a massive change, and they all have to be talked to. So I don't think Reece James just got one special interview. I think every player has been talked to, had some kind of meeting, spoke their mind, and probably also briefed on what Boehly wants to do. I'm sure Boehly wants to meet every player and tell every player what he expects. 100%. He would have to do it for every player. Reece James is not just the only player that gets that. Every player, especially. Maybe the ones that are already gone, they're maybe not, but the exception of the truth.
Yeah, I get your point. So I'm going to bring the two panelists that just joined us up to par so we can move to talking about, or let me just quickly take a minute and get their thoughts on, the fact that Christian Pulisic requested a meeting. Let me start with you, Matty. Your thoughts, does he even deserve to request a meeting? Has he done enough? To request a meeting with Thomas Tuchel? Would you say overall that Thomas Tuchel has treated him poorly? Because that's how his father is making it sound, come across as if Thomas Tuchel has been unfair to Christian Pulisic. Is that the case? Or do you think Christian Pulisic himself hasn't even done enough to be starting games, so Thomas Tuchel has done well?
I'm going to fire that question back at you, and I'll fire that question as well with the panel and everybody else, right? Does he get in the starting 11 for Manchester City or Liverpool? And if so, who are you getting rid of?
Declare, Nick, you want to start? Nick, you want to start?
No, none of them. Maybe he could. I don't know. Look, you know, the only player I was going to say, like,
$1 billion question. Oh my goodness!
That is the £58 million question, isn't it? Because that's how much he cost.
It is indeed.
And let's put it
I think
this
he's
way,
almost
right?
playing as the same way as Sterling. I mean, Sterling's got a massive miss rate as well, but Sterling's doing a lot better. Pulisic could get in that team and almost do the same thing.
The thing is, right, he is like a baby with a bottle, right? If you take it away from him, he starts crying, right? He's had, in the past 5 games, he's had 2 mediocre games, right? He scored against West Ham, which, let's face it, that shot that he scored against West Ham was in the same distance as what he missed against Leicester, right? So he should have been burying that. Secondly, I said if he scored against a mediocre and an average Leeds, right? And let's put it this way, right? He wouldn't get into none of the top 4 teams. So my suggestion is we've given this guy 3 seasons, right? He has had 1 average season, which was his first season. He did slightly better in the second season, right? And he's now gone back to being poor in the third, right? He's spent 60% of his career on the bench, at least 40 on injured, right? So my suggestion is to you, right? Does he deserve it? Because I don't think he does. When we've relied in the past, right? Yeah. I know we're talking about ancient history, right? We've had number 10s like Joe Cole, Juan Mata, Eden Hazard, right? Willian for a season. We've had to rely on all 4 of those players at one point, right? And that's 2 different tactical systems, right? There were 4 different tactical systems. Do you think in any way, shape or form, right, with a number 10 shirt that he's got right now, could we rely on Christian Pulisic to score goals? I don't think we could. You know, one player. Think about it, one player. We've had to rely on Mason Mount and Reece James.
No, let him finish. Let him finish. You come in, Nick. Let Maddie finish. Go ahead, Maddie.
Yeah. We've had to rely on Mason Mount, Reece James. We've even had to rely on Timo Werner for some games, right? And let's put it this way, right? We've had to rely on Kai Havertz. For me, Lukaku, Jorginho, Pulisic, I'm tarting them all with the same brush, to be fair. They are not good enough. They're not good enough, right? Especially when you're challenging for trophies. If we want to bring in talent, if we want to bring in somebody that's successful, right, and we want to win trophies, we need to bring the elite in. But we've got to bring players in who have got the potential to succeed at. Look at our academy with Reece James and Mason Mount. They have shown time after time after time again that the youth project does work, right? But then we've shown that by buying £58 million worth of Christian Pulisic, and no, for anybody that says it's not an American thing, it is me objectifying the fact that we need better on the left wing and in attack and as a squad. You know, he wouldn't even get, dare I say it, Nick, right? You know me, I've been a fan since 1998. Would you think that you'd kick out the likes of Roberto Di Matteo or anybody else from the 98 squad? I don't think I could. I don't think I could kick him out. Not even Mourinho's squad he'd get in of 2004. So we've gone backwards. We haven't gone forwards, we've gone backwards, right? So, and us having the likes of Lukaku just summed it all. We paid £100 million for average. And it doesn't fit his system.
So overall, I think, Maddie, I'll let Nick respond, but I'll let you know this. I think your argument. Let's not give away the season's review, but I get the point you're making. Overall, you don't think he deserves to even ask for a meeting because he hasn't done quite enough to get into the team, right?
The thing is, though, Coach, I was just about to say this. Mm-hmm. This is a worrying thing if Todd Boehly is getting involved in team tactics. right?
That's my
Because
concern. That's my concern. Go ahead.
Even Elton John, who ran Watford, said that he wouldn't interfere with the managers, right? I know that sounds a bit weird, but at the same time, he wouldn't argue with the management decisions, right? So even somebody like that wouldn't get involved in the managerial decisions. Todd Boehly's a smart man. If he wants his business to succeed, he's got to give all of his onus and all of his faith into Thomas Tuchel, which, believe you and me, is the best manager we can get right now. We can't afford to go out and look for another manager because that is the best manager we can get. He has taken this club to 6 finals in a single year. 6 finals. Can you imagine anybody else doing that? Mourinho didn't do that in his first season. So my suggestion is to everybody is back the man. Don't give a toss about what Pulisic wants. This is a crybaby that did it through Frank Lampard's era, and now Thomas Tuchel, who he believed was friends with him. So I'm sorry, but it's mediocre talent. I'm sorry. If he wants first team football, he'll be great at Crystal Palace. Great at Crystal Palace. He'll be a Wilfried Zaha, right? That sums him up. If he becomes big, I will retract my words, right? But for me, he'll be successful. I have no doubt, but he's not what we need right now. We don't need this right now. We need players that are already got a killer instinct to win, and somebody that says, "Okay, I'm not going to get a start today. Right, I'm going to prove to you that I deserve a start in 11." Not have my dad do cryptic ass tweets on the internet and do crybaby comments. You know, it's ridiculous. So,
yeah, I think the way parents these days and agents, the way they do talk recklessly. And for some managers, I think if you do that under a manager like Jose Mourinho, I think he'd have a word with the player and say, if your dad repeats this, that's it for you in this club. I think I get your argument, and I will come back to you. And I think I knew the way you were asking for the link, you were coming in with some fired up arguments, and I appreciate you finding time to join the panel. And more importantly, welcome to Chelsea Perspective. Nick, you want to come in quickly so I can bring in CFC Steven? This is his first time here, so we'll welcome him.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, you want me to catch up with the chat because it's piling up.
Yeah, I understand, Matthew. I know what you think of Pulisic. And I've been saying as well, all the chances he's been missing, I can't forgive him. But like you said, we know that Boehly will back Tuchel. He's the best manager. Like you said, we can't get a better manager. No way. And, from that interview, you've seen it, I've seen it. Boehly said he's backing Tuchel to do what, bring who he wants and get rid of who he wants. But, it doesn't mean, Pulisic might get a chance. The problem is we can't buy too many attackers right now. We have to fix the defense and the midfield. So that's the only reason I think Pulisic could be staying for now. But later on, could change. I agree with you, Matt. And I
think... Yeah, I think I agree with you, Nick, in terms of one of the reasons why he could be saved will be because the club will prioritize fortifying the defensive area because we're losing about 5 defenders. So again, might not want to sell him because that creates a problem because right now we're not even allowed to sign players. We can talk to them, but we can complete the signing until the restrictions on the club are lifted. So I think the club will...
That's why Pulisic probably will end up staying for this season.
Yep, because everything cannot be done in this single window. I know Declan thinks otherwise. So I'm going to quickly catch up with the chat.
He's undeclared, so his points.
Hey, mute your mic, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Keep your mic.
Hey, mute your mic when you're talking. Let's
Declared, what was your Declared? Just quickly, Declared. What did you think about all of it? Because we heard from Nick, we heard from Couch. I'd like to know what your opinion is because obviously I know I've come here with a bit of fire in my belly, and I know that I've kind of spat out quite a few flames. I just wanted to hear your opinion as well, bro.
Declan, go ahead before I try and catch up with the chat.
Yeah, I've given my opinion earlier on Pulisic and the way we've gone this season. No player has any right to demand some kind of game time, even if he's great marketing tool for any reason. This is the season where Tuchel should actually get more of a say and get to do what he wants, and hopefully get the players that he wants. And for players that didn't perform, it's almost like a fresh start. They have to fight for their position again, because a whole bunch of players and a whole bunch of young players are going to come in from loans and youth and whatever, and they're going to be fighting for every spot available in that first team. So that's why like Pulisic, twist it how you want. He can talk all he wants, but Tuchel shouldn't give him. He has to fight for his spot. And that whole front forward have been lackluster. They all should be sold. That's how bad it's been. It's a bad experiment over how many years. We try to solve it. It's 320 million thrown at that attack, and we got nothing for it. So for someone to try to say, why am I getting game time and stuff like that, none of them are good enough. They're lucky that they're still in the team, and that players haven't replaced them, let alone trying to negotiate their position or their spot in the team. So that's my stance on it.
Yeah, let me quickly, brother, CFC Stephen, please just 1 minute so I can catch up with the chat, and I'll bring you in to express yourself. Is that okay, brother?
No problem.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is Rodrigo Rada saying no, he won't get into any of that team regarding the question Maddie asked about Christian Pulisic. And here, declared, there's a question for you. I asked him to translate the Italian in the video again. That's another conversation between you two. Please like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That is coming from the only queen of the house, Just Viola. Please, if you haven't, it takes just a second to like the video. And the more likes we get, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the stream will be pushed to more people who would be interested in this particular topic. And if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel to help us reach 2K. Right now, we're at 1,641 subscribers. I know we can get to at least close or maybe get to 2K subscribers today. That can happen. So please do like the video and subscribe if you haven't. Big up to you, Deals at CFC, and Blue Morning to you. Nice to see you here. This is just greetings. Let me see. I have to catch up. Pulisic is dead. He needs to go. Ziyech goes because he doesn't get played a lot, and he doesn't suit a Tuchel system. I think it depends. In the case of Ziyech, he needs a freedom to be at his best, and I don't think he will get it under Thomas Tuchel, and that's why he may well leave the club. And we talked about that yesterday. And living for Ziyech is easy now that Eric Ten Hag will be Manchester United's next manager. He gets to play under the manager where you can say he had his best of form as a player. But that's, by the way, Dana Ikiba Eugene says that Christian Pulisic should be grateful for the amount of game time he's had. He had this season because he does not deserve it. Again, that's your argument. Because he left without saying goodbye to the fans. You truly don't stop trying. Again, this is a conversation they're having between themselves. I'm not sure what they're talking about there. Let me see if there's anything else to address. Who is the farmer talking now? How often have Sterling, Mahrez, etc. been injured or asked to play wing backs?
I ain't no farmer, man.
Good response, thank you. And please, let's stop calling people names, even though we didn't mean it in a bad way. It might come across as some.
I may be living in the countryside. I may live in the countryside, but I'm no farmer, man.
Yeah, thank you for that. Your response, I like it. It's not a fight. Again, hopefully we learn not to call people names because it might come across as insulting. This guy is speaking facts. Some people like Maddie, some doesn't like what he's saying. I'm so glad this guy has made it clear. Pulisic isn't worth given a new contract at Chelsea. If we play James at left wing, he would perform better than Pulisic, and all of them are left-sided attackers. Maddie, it looks like they want to give you an award for the way you spoke. But again, the truth is, I still have a few reasons why I think he should stay. He's still young, and there's a chance he improves and gets better. But the reason I think he should leave is that I don't think Thomas Tuchel trusts him that much. And plus, also the reason I think it stay because the owners are profit focused, and they're Americans. And Pulisic at this moment is still the face of football in the United States. So again, that may well play a role in him staying, but it's a thin line between him. There's a thin line between him staying and the owners having an issue with the manager, because forcing him to stay to have him in the team when he doesn't want him, it's no different from imposing the player on the manager, and that sets the stage for a serious issue, emerging.
Couch, he could be the face of Rich T Biscuits, but I don't give a toss. He doesn't get a start.
Who's the guy with the hot profile picture? I think they want to give you an award. I said that already. They like you. We're Chelsea Football Club, and anyone playing in this club should be honored. Do so. Remember, we're still the current champions of Europe, and thank you very much for saying that. We're still champions of the world. Again, we're still champions of the Super Cup, or how do you phrase it again? Until we get new owners. So that's, by the way, we're Chelsea Football Club. I think I've read that one. James Hike says that Pulisic has been below the quality I expect as a Chelsea fan. No doubt he's talented, but he needs to do it for 90 minutes. It doesn't have to be 90 minutes. Consistently, maybe. I love him, and as an American, I would want to see him succeed at Chelsea, but it doesn't look like that's possible, and it doesn't look like Thomas Tuchel trusts him also. Why is it only with Chelsea FC players complaining about game time? City and Liverpool have brilliant players on the bench. Again, we don't hear them complain in public. Maybe that makes a difference. But for us, I think a lot of stuff, we're spoiled again, and things get leaked a lot at Chelsea Football Club. So there's no way to tell whether Manchester City players complain or not. I think they do. How big of a statement would it be if Boehly sold Pulisic, despite beliefs of having a biased, having an American poster boy stay? Okay, maybe Stephen, you want to answer this quickly so I can also round off with what I'm reading in the chart.
What I was going to say about Pulisic is I don't care if he leaves. He moans too much, and he's better from the bench, and the only time he's been playing is when Werner was playing ahead of him. Says it all. I mean, we know how bad Werner is. And he only started playing when his dad was moaning. And Pulisic just took Chelsea off his Instagram. So for me, he needs to leave the club, because I'm done with him.
That's a strong argument for him. I think it would be good for him also. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's missing too many open goals. The Liverpool game, the Leicester goal. I'm sorry, you have to score that. You have to score that. You cannot be missing that. No way. For me, I'd be happy if Chelsea sold him. And I think Boehly, even though he's American, I still think he will sell him.
Do you know what? It's harder for him to miss that. It was harder for him to miss that.
I was at the game, and it was terrible.
He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. That's how bad he is. You know,
it's terrible. And he's better from the bench. Let's be real.
And that's how I think that's how Tuchel sees it, even at Dortmund.
Tuchel doesn't rate him. I'm sorry.
He doesn't. Yeah.
No.
But then again, I think we can all agree that he's a talent, and I think it will be best for him, because most of the players that we have, for some reason, it's not just working out for them at Chelsea Football Club. And I think the best option will be let them go and go where it will work for them. And when we'll find players that will work under our manager, and you could argue the reason being none of them are Thomas Tuchel signing, except you could argue who, and you could argue Saul was also forced on him. But that's, by the way, let me quickly catch up again like I was doing. I just wanted you to answer that question on the screen. Pulisic doesn't want to stay here. His body language, performance, and the fact he removed Chelsea from all social media shows he wants to leave. That's another sign too. So good input there. Sign two world-class defenders, a solid DM, or Bissouma, or Brighton, Nick Blue. And then I like Kilman. Hopefully Chelsea are looking at him, but again, I don't think it will just be two central defenders. If you're on the panel and if you think it will be more, you let me know.
More than what? Sorry, I missed it.
More than 2 central defenders. If you think we need more than two, that the club are going to be
Yeah,
signing more than
let
two
me answer
central
the
defenders, you
question.
let me
Yeah,
know.
I think
Wait a
three.
Yeah,
minute,
go ahead,
Nick.
Nick.
The question is for me, not you. So calm yourself.
Oh.
Calm yourself, declare.
Wasn't
Okay,
for
go ahead,
you.
Nick.
I'm joking, man. You know,
Go ahead,
Hey,
Nick. Go
I
ahead.
my
like I
bad, I
like
was
to I
talking.
like to wind him up a little bit.
Hey, you haven't moved your
Uh,
mic once while I've been talking. There's something going on here.
you know, you be on mute anyway. What are you doing? Lord, man.
Bro, I got a mute on my headset. I press one button, it's muted.
Put it on,
Go ahead, Nick.
Coach. Put him on mute because I can't hear.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah,
Shoot your shot.
yeah. Exactly. I agree. Basima, yeah, another good option. We do need, like I said, we need not 2, we need 4. We look Alonso, Aspi, Christensen, Rudiger. That's 4. 4 we have to replace. Even if Aspi stays, I hope he stays and be, he's going to be coming on a few minutes maybe, but he's important, Aspi, even if he stays. On and off the pitch, like we keep saying, he's a leader. But yeah, Basuma, he's another option. I like what's his name? Cucurella, another great player. I think it would be nice to have him. And Koulibaly, I hope, and maybe Koeman. And we have Kounde as well, don't forget. So, that's what we have to do, fix that defense and the midfield. Because we might at least need one more player for the midfield. As you know, Kante's, he's getting on. He ain't going to play much. Jorginho is 50-50. We have the main one we have is Kovacic. Right, we have Gallagher to come and so on. But we still need replacements. Our youngsters, we can't rely on our youngsters for, first team football every game. They won't be up for it. They're going to have to come in slowly, like Mason Mount did and Reece James did. It takes time. So we need experience in this team.
We do need experience, and that's the truth.
Yes.
And again, for everybody in the chat, remember I promised if we had 150 people watching, that we'd do a giveaway for $50. So I must, fulfill my promise by the time we reach an hour, 30 minutes into the show. So stay. When that time comes, I'll let you know what to put in the chat so you can get to participate. Stephen, let me come to you. Some people say we need a 4, center backs. Some say we need just a 2. Which do you think? How many center backs do you think we need really?
Depends what formation we're going to go with. If we're going to back 4, I'd say 2. But if we're sticking to the 3, I'd say 3. But I think Kounde will be wrapped up. And Koulibaly, I think we're going to go for him as well. But it depends on what Tuchel wants to do. I want to see Tuchel go to a back 4 because I've never known Tuchel to play a back 3. So I want to see what he wants to do. I want to see his formation, his players, and that's how I want to go forward. Because I've never known.
And here's the thing again. I think Tuchel at Dortmund and at PSG, there are occasions he switches the formation 3 times in a single game. I know we all know that. So I believe since he has a chance now to build the team in his image, that's a chance we'll start seeing that next season.
Yeah, I agree. And he switched to a back 4 in the Watford game as well.
Yeah, during games he does switch formations a lot. So go ahead, or should I just continue?
Yeah, continue, bro.
All right. He says, Gabriel Omar Obas, thank you for that donation there, the supporting the show. I appreciate that. Again, I cannot thank you enough. He says, the board will give Tuchel total control, and issues like this, Pulisic, will be a thing of the past. The players should know this is not Roman's era anymore. Player power will be suppressed. I think at the point towards under Thomas Tuchel, or even under Frank Lampard, I think we'll say from that point on, I think we didn't see much of player powers at the club. But Frank tried to suppress player uprising, and I think it cost him a lot of problems too because he didn't handle it quite well. And again, it's something he is aware that existed at the club. So he did it in a way that the players wouldn't even get a chance to say some stuff, but it cost him quite a lot of problem. But that's, by the way, Declan, coming back to you, let's talk about Reece James. It looks like what what made us understand the importance of the club, renewing the contract of Reece James was the fact that we started hearing that Real Madrid wants him. He's their next target in the Premier League. Your thoughts?
Regardless, Reece James, Mount, Mendy, Chalobah already signed. Yeah, they needed a contract straight away. They were on some of the lowest wages, playing the most games. So regardless if Real Madrid came in, we needed to lock them down ASAP. So that was always going to happen, just because they were still on academy wages. And just like you saw, because other clubs will come for him. If you keep Mount on club wages, he might leave too. Reece James, any other youth that come in that actually starts to play an important part can easily get bought from another club if they're on really low wages. Same with Mendy. Mendy's on really low wages. Mendy's on academy wages. Kepa earns 3 times what Mendy earns. So this kind of things have to get sorted out straight away before other clubs start influencing or turning heads, which they already have. We're already losing players because of that.
Yeah, I think it's a risk. Again, I think he's 60-something. Callum is in 120. I think our salary structure is everywhere. Probably, and again, I agree. Probably because other clubs will start looking at him. And there was a time he was Manchester City being talked about, being linked with him. But again, I think his performance, most importantly, I think is one of the reasons why the club realized that if we waste time, other people are going to start coming for him. Nick, your thoughts before I go to Maddie to bring his fire. I know he's probably thinking of how to attack me now.
Yeah. So, what's the question again? Let me see.
Reece James, why do you think the club all of a sudden is prioritizing his renewal of his contract?
Yeah, like Declare said before, I'm sure they're talking to all the players. But Reece James is the main one because we don't, he's proved to us, the fans, he's proved to Chelsea that he's something else. He's going to be a world-class player very soon. And everyone's going to want to buy him. Every single club in Europe will want him. And we have to make sure he gets the contract he deserves and stays at Chelsea because he loves Chelsea. He sees the place for Chelsea, and he won't go. He won't be tempted. We just have to make sure we keep those vouchers away from a great player we have, and we'll become even better. For me, he's already up there with one of the best in the world in his position, if not the best. So imagine after a couple more seasons what Reece James will be. So we he's the main player for us, I think, and we're not going to let him go.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to give him enough to stay because now the world have seen how good he is and probably will promise him quite a lot of money. And I'm going to go to go ahead, Nick. You were saying something.
Yeah, like Real Madrid, everyone, Liverpool, City, everyone, all the major clubs are going to want Reece James. But I hope he keeps his word to what he said. He's a Chelsea boy. We know he is. He grew up at Chelsea. Let's hope that's the way he feels about it. Now and the years to come, because we don't want to lose him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bothered with the other youngsters we have as much as Reece James, because he's world class.
Yeah. Before I go to Maddie, please, I urge the people in the chat to please take a second to like the video. The more you like it, the more we have more people here. And the more people we have here, the more fun it is. And please, if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. like the video. It takes a second, and if anybody asks you to pay, tell them Just Viola had already paid for you. Maddie, before I come to you quickly, let me try and catch up with what we have in the chat here. The only thing that's important is that come the start of the new season, TT is happy with the squad and the players we brought in were his choice. And I think you make a good argument that I think that would be the case. I think I don't think the club will sign any player without the TT saying they're making ensuring that that player will fit into the way he likes to approach the game. I think it will be quite a lot of changes, but unfortunately for us, due to the restrictions, I don't think, no matter how you say it, I do not think we'll be signing too many players. I say sometimes Tuchel costs us games by playing players out of position. I think that's another argument. He's not perfect. He's a good manager, but on occasions, I'd argue, that's me, I'd argue, but we'll talk about that when we review the season soon in a few minutes. Again, Tuchel unnecessarily have played players out of position, if you ask me. I love him, but I must say that good vibes. Fatun Mohammed, nice to see you here, brother. And if you haven't, please take some time, like the video and subscribe to the channel. We all cried last season and thought Ziyech will leave. Same thing of Pulisic, he will stay. And there's a chance they stay. But some of them, I believe at least two players will leave because they want more game time. And the others will leave because the club don't want them. That's the case this time because I think Ziyech at this point, I think, will feel disrespected given that the fact there was a time towards the end of the season he was on form and one of our best players, and for some reason was dropped to the bench. It wasn't like he was injured or something. Declared, I wonder an evening with this morning don't mean it's happening. Emerson has already said he wants to stay in France. I think he said that. I don't think he'd come back, but if he comes back, that'll be good. Within half the defenders to play four at the back when Tuchel came in as a manager. Our defense was in shambles, and his formation fixed it again. And that's a strong argument there, and that's the truth. Again, let me see if there's anything necessary here to address. If you have any questions, let us know. Interestingly, Pulisic only started in the EPL both 13 times, and yet hit the water 6 times. Again, he's responding to someone else. The most important thing is that we have a fantastic manager. Get 2 experienced players, blend them with our lone army. We're good. I think that was the question I was going to ask. If getting 2 defenders and completing the whole thing with somebody like Levi Colwell and any other defenders that you can think of. Maddie, please take note when you talk about. I'd like you to also address that. Again, this is my friend Fahim, CFC Fahim. If you haven't, please be sure to go check out his channel. Great content, always objective, and subscribe if you haven't. I'll be glad if you can do that and let him know I sent you. Again, yeah, he says get it to 100 likes, guys. If you haven't, be sure to like the video. Again, Kounde in London, we'll get to that in a bit and what that may well mean. Now, Maddie, coming to you, your thoughts on what we talked about, Reece James. Why did the club wait? Why did they wait until the rumors about him, Real Madrid wanting to sign him emerged? And at one point, there were rumors also that Pep Guardiola wanted him. And I don't think it's a lie. I think there's some measure of truth in those rumors. Again, go ahead, Matty.
I think Matty left, bro.
Oh, Matty's left. Okay, Stephen, you want to talk about that?
Reece James, I actually know him very well. He's one of my favourite players. He will never leave Chelsea. There's already a 5-year contract lined up for him, and he will sign. And his dad said he will never leave the club as well. And his dad's been on other podcasts and spoken about this as well. He will not leave. Todd Boehly could be confirmed tomorrow, and once that's done, Reece James will sign his new contract.
I hope that's the case. I think Nick is in the same boat already. He doesn't think he'll leave Chelsea. And I think it was Max from Button Baller's YouTube channel, great channel also. If you haven't, go check it out.
Yeah, I know him as well.
Yeah. On this channel, he also did say that Reece James is not like he's not that type of person. And plus, English players hardly leave from England to Madrid. That it doesn't happen that often. But he doesn't see James deciding to join Madrid
Yeah.
as long as the club is willing to give him a new contract. But Declan, I know you always like to see things from
Well,
business.
Coach, can I just say, yeah, Stephen, yeah, you're spot
Go
on.
ahead, Nick.
Max said, what we've been said about Reece James, because he's a Chelsea man, a boy, and now a man. He's not going nowhere, like Stephen said. Like Max said before, I said how many, every time I speak, I say he's there to say he will be the best in the world at his position very soon, if he's not already, like I said. So
and he's got the same numbers as Trent of assists this season.
He's better, yeah. Trent is nowhere near Reece James. Never will be.
Yeah, but that's
He's
another
Liverpool
argument for another
scumbag.
day.
Liverpool
I actually agree
scumbag.
with Nick on that.
Yeah,
I think Reece James is better.
Of course he's better. This Liverpool rubbish, they played us 4 times. They couldn't beat us once.
Facts.
And they beat us on penalties because of our Wonder Boy Mason Mount can't take a penalty. I had enough of this. Liverpool are scumbags and they will get smashed by Real Madrid, and I'll be laughing.
All right. We'll talk about that. Let's quickly catch up with what we have so that we can review the season. Declan, again, I've lost the question I wanted to ask you. Do you think Reece James will even if Madrid comes in with a higher wage, that he stays at Chelsea? And the reason I'm asking you this, I know you like to see things from a business perspective. The truth is, this guy's football is what they do for a living. The more money they see, I think they follow money too, no matter how you see it, no matter how loyal they think they are to a club. Go ahead, Declan.
I don't think there'll be a massive difference between what Chelsea will give to Reece James, because they do see him as long-term, and what Real Madrid would offer. And the great thing about the academy players is that this is their dream. This is their dream to play for Chelsea. And just like the rest of the panel alluded to, that most of them just want to be, live their dream and probably happily retire at Chelsea, right? That's what they dream to do. To trump that, it takes a lot. It will take a lot more. It's not just money. It has to be a whole bunch of factors for a player to leave. Even look when Hazard came here. Loved the club, but it was his dream for Madrid, and it took a lot for him to get to Madrid. And figured that, but on the same level of when it's Chelsea is your dream to play for. So it's just not money. There has to be so many other factors. There's no way Reece James would leave, and what Chelsea would offer him, it wouldn't be that far off what Real Madrid would offer him anyway. So I don't think money won't turn his head, and it won't even be enough to turn his head.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I think it's not going to be that simple, and that echoes what what's his name, Max from Boehly said. It's not going to be that simple, but again, we must remember it is also a possibility. But that's by the way, while I'm still at you, Declan, can you address this comment on the screen? Excuse me, which says that I don't know if it has been addressed, but what do you think of the Raheem Sterling to Chelsea rumors? That's one I don't want to see happen. How about you, Declan?
Yeah. I'm the same, because his conversion rate is similar to Werner's. And that's what you're getting. We'll be getting another Werner. We've had enough. We need people that can actually convert, not with a high miss rate. He's great on the ball. He's great getting behind players. But that's not what we had an issue with. Sterling wouldn't solve a problem. Sterling would just add to the problem that we already have.
Nick, do you agree? I think we've lost Nick. I don't know. It takes everyone like 10 minutes to unmute their phones.
Yeah, because we have to make sure Declare keeps the mute button. Yeah,
Nick,
I'm quick.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah,
I'm quick.
Raheem Sterling at Chelsea. You're having a laugh. We don't want that diver anywhere near Stamford Bridge. He's a diver, and when he came to Chelsea, he was diving around like a banana skin, whatever he is. I don't mean that in that way. I mean he was sliding everywhere, and he does that. That's his game. I don't want Sterling anywhere near Fulham Broadway, let alone Stamford Bridge. He's not a Chelsea player. Never will be. Never is.
I think I have issues with Raheem Sterling. I think, and that's why he's finding it difficult to get game times now at Manchester City. I think I don't know how else to phrase it. It's not in my opinion.
I haven't finished. All he does is dive. He gets nearer to the penalty box and he goes down. How many times do you see that with City? How many penalties has he won? The man's a fraud. Keep him going. Do what you like with him. Don't bring him to Chelsea. I will go berserk. I'm telling you. Go on.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Stephen. Your thoughts on Chelsea being linked to Raheem Sterling. And I see one of my friends also on Twitter. What's his name? Tom. I forgot his name. Is promoting it. He says he wants to see it happen on something like another English player at Chelsea Football Club or something like that. But you go ahead, Stephen. Let me know what you think about us being linked to him.
Well, Matt Law was reporting it, but I don't see Man City selling a player to a rival. And I think the only place he would go is Arsenal or Tottenham. I do not see it, and I don't want to see it happen. I'd rather take Dembele from Barcelona than sign Sterling. For me, no. No. I don't want.
Yeah, to me, it's a no either. And quickly, I want to address this. Listen, True Blue, I can't. We have so many comments, and I try to read all of them, and I don't have to read every of your comment. I don't have to read. If I try to read every of your comment the way you write them, then it will be just about you, and I will not be able to read anybody else's comment, and then it's not going to be fair. And I know everybody on the panel can agree with me. I value your comment. I value your input. And again, let me give you something out. When I sense that it's anything like it's going to cause some measure of conflict, sometimes I just skip it. I must let you know that. But I value your comment, and I read quite a lot of your comments. And there are lots of people in the chat, and there's no chance I'll be able to read all your comments. Sorry about that if that's how you see it. Again, let me see if there's anything to address it, and I'll come back. Chelsea must buy Nkunku, Gavidol, Kounde, Sangare. Again, that's your suggestion for the club. Will they do it? We'll see. Hopefully, Reece James' injury issues get better next season. And I hope he's not injury prone. The club. What do you think?
I don't think he is. I don't think
you don't think so, Steve?
No.
Oh, how about you,
Reece
Declan? What do you
James?
think?
Reece James being injury prone?
Yeah, at this point you can't say that, right? Because remember, let me just reiterate. Remember, under Frank Lampard, it happened like 3 times or 2 times.
There can be a case to say that that he is. I'm not going to call him injury prone, but he is prone to some injuries, and he's still young. Maybe there's not enough sample, but I mean he hasn't been fit to play the whole season. So, I mean, if we need a backup, we definitely need a backup, because there is going to be games that Reece James can be out, and these injuries can pile on as well. So I hope he can keep fit. He's still young, and maybe it's the game times or the demand. So I don't know. He hasn't played. He hasn't fully played 2 seasons. So I'm not going to say he's injury prone, but I'm not going to say he doesn't get injured as well.
While I'm with you, before I go to Nick Blue, I'll come to you, Nick. I'm coming to you next. Would you consider playing him in a midfield? Just what Fahim is saying on the screen.
Cool. No.
Well, there's something that Steven said where he's never seen Tuchel play in a back 3. Now, if you follow Tuchel and the way he's played, a lot of the fundamentals are still in the team. And when he was at PSG, he had Marquinhos play in the midfield. But the thing about that was that Marquinhos made a back 3 in different phases of the game. and then pushed up as well. You could probably see an element of like that where Kounde or Reece James or someone pushes up, and so instead of having 3 central defenders, well, we have 2 and one type of midfielder that can move up and down. That's why, when we talked about, like, in the past about Rice could do exactly the same thing, if that's what Tuchel ultimately wanted to do. So there's been an evolution in the way Tuchel wanted to play, and maybe the fullback 3 is the better way that he likes it, or maybe he wants one of those central defenders to be able to push up into the midfield and become one of the 6s, and that would allow us to have one less sitter, and then we can play an extra attacking midfielder, like an 8 or 10. So Mount could actually play in the midfield. Havertz can actually play a bit more deeper in their probably more preferred and better roles, and we can have other attackers up front. So that's why I say maybe this has been a bandage, and with all the injuries, Tuchel hasn't really gotten the best out of the system. It's just been makeshift. It's just been just to get people in there and to learn, and he had the inverted wingers. It's just been all to accommodate this season with injuries and with how players want. I don't think we're seeing how Tuchel really wants to play. So there's elements of that, of maybe Reece James or Kounde. Maybe that's why he was so desperate on Kounde, because he's been known to be a defender with great ball playing skills. It could be other ways. It could even be the normal back 4. It could be a whole different system. But if you follow what he did at PSG, Dortmund, you can see different changes. And also we can make the argument that he did it. He just adjusted to the players he had, right? So if that was the case, then maybe next season we see a whole new system catered for Lukaku and counter-attacking, and we might play like that next season, if that's the case. But I want Tuchel to play the system he wants to play, and I think there's something built up from Dortmund days to PSG. You can see the fundamentals, and you can see evolution and all the way to Chelsea. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that did happen, where one of the defenders actually in different phases becomes the 6. Do you know what I mean? So that would mean, like, say Jorginho, it would be Jorginho, on paper it would look like Jorginho by himself, say Mount and Havertz in the middle, like that. This is just an example, right? And then you would have 3 defenders, right? But then one of those defenders becomes a 6, and then you got extra defenders. You have 2 up front. So in different phases, you can see Tuchel in the past has done different things like that, where he wants a versatile defender and midfielder that can move up and down in there, instead of playing the 3 defenders that we have. Like you saw a lot of the time, you see how many times Rudiger got up the pitch? Really, he shouldn't be that far. A player like that shouldn't be in part of the attack. It should be a player, more advanced than him. So
it's a high risk behavior.
Yeah. So then, if Reece James or Kounde or Chalobah, whoever, or someone else that we might buy new who plays in the midfield, will be the one pushing forward when we need, rather than having someone like Rudiger from the back all the way joining the attack. So you can tell that's all he could do at that time. So I'm actually keen to say, I'm actually going to be really keen on pre-season. You might see these Tuchel practicing some of this stuff or experimenting.
Yeah, experimental.
It's going to be great to see.
And in the FA Cup semi-final, we did see Tuchel put Reece James as a 6 in midfield. So he might do that again. We don't know.
Yeah. Nick, your thoughts?
First of all, Reece James is injury prone. Not injury prone, but he can get injured easily because of the way he plays. He's a physical player.
Nobody seems to get he is, but you want to say it. Go ahead, Nick.
He's a physical player, and that's how he will get injured. But he's not prone for injury, no. It's the way he plays. He goes for every tackle, and the way that's why he gets injured a little bit. But he can overcome that. The older he gets, he'll be stronger. And we need someone there for a backup to give him a rest sometimes for cup games and that, whatever.
You're still using the term backup, Nick.
Not backup. I mean a proper first team player to be there when Reece James needs a rest. We don't want backups. We said that before. And the other thing about Rudiger going forward, well, that's what we need, Declare. We need a player like that in the back who can bomb forward and do something spectacular. That was Chelsea all about in the past.
But only when they find space.
It's not a good idea. No. Let me talk. Well, that's what we had. The shame is we're losing a great player, but you don't realise, that sort of player is very hard to come by. Someone who can bomb forward and take everyone on, and eventually score an unbelievable shot like he did. I would never forget that goal as long as I live. We had players like that in Leboeuf, who was a back player, but scored great goals. We had players who could do that, but we don't have no Rudiger squad. We don't have one. So Reece James is the nearest we have. When he bobbles forward, he's dangerous, and let's keep him that way. That's what I have to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, let me try and catch up the chat.
How many did Rudiger score, Nick?
What? What did you say?
How many shots?
Doesn't matter how many. He scored a few. But, he at least
scored one.
Tried. That doesn't make
know.
us say, look, you talk so much shit, man. You talk rubbish. You have to say this now.
You twisted what I said.
They ask you a question, you make a bloody story out of it.
Nick, can I say something quickly?
Club, you idiot. Get out.
Nick, can I say something quickly again? Again, I don't like name calling here. And plus, everybody is entitled to express their opinion. I've said this before, kindly. I respect you so much, and I don't want it to get to a stage you and I fight. You know I love you. I'm not okay with you speaking with somebody using F word or whatever. It doesn't. It's not okay. You're bigger than that. You're mature enough to know. And he's trying to tell you misread his quote. And again, I don't think. Well, if we all agree, then we shouldn't be having a show. We have a show because there's something we don't know. We need to learn from the other person. It doesn't make sense. Do you want to come here and sit and talk alone, and everybody in the chat will just be going, yes, I agree, yes, and then it's not a show.
Coach, wait a minute. I'm not saying that. Look, like what I'm saying, Declare doesn't make a question into a massive story, and it gets boring sometimes. I'm sure the chat will. I don't know if they will agree. If they want that sort of thing, let have a Declare show. Nothing else. That's all.
Sorry, can you say that?
It's all right.
He knows what I'm saying.
I don't care. Nick can be upset, but what you were saying, you took what I said, right, and twisted it and tried to make it into we need a Rudiger. What I said was that no central defender from that position should be joining the attack, right, before anyone else. That is tactical, just a makeshift at the time. We should be having. There should be players before him doing what he was doing. That's the point I was making. But you went on some tangent about Rudiger, and you also said he was going to stay, and he didn't stay, right? If you want to talk about credibility on what people say, right? We're going to have a show of delusion of where you say this is going to happen, and without just just your best guess or what you want. We can talk like that, and then you can call everyone else to get out of your club that anyone disagrees with you. So if you want to have that conversation,
again,
yeah.
I want to say,
but don't twist what I said then.
Yeah, Nick, Declan, I get your point. I think he misunderstood you. And again, I also said it's a high-risk game, but I like it when a player, if you find space and you're attacking players and making most of the space, if you find space, if you can, eat it up like he does. But I think, Nick, I'm going to say this openly because we're family here. No matter how passionate you are, you don't, this credit other people's loyalty to the club. The club loves the club as much as you love it. He's just expressing his own opinion. And like we talked about yesterday, if you don't like my opinion, present your counter opinion. It's as simple as that. We're having fun. And you can be like that sometimes on a very good day. But every now and then, the flare-up doesn't help. It can cause us issues. Yeah, look at we're trying to make amends now why we should be entertaining those in the chat and address the issues we have at hand. So I don't think it's okay. But that's, by the way, I understand. I know Declan quite well to know to him it has ended there. And then Nick, I think you should also let it end there. We shouldn't be coming at each other like we're enemies. Even you all have families. When you have arguments in your families, you don't throw spanners at each other. You settle the arguments, and again, we'll move on. We're here to learn. We're here to entertain those in the chat. And please, I nearly got again, I nearly got pissed myself, but I'm happy I'm holding myself now. I shouldn't, but please, if you understand me, we should be disrespectful to each other. I'm so sorry, my mic got disconnected probably because I'm getting pissed myself. But that's, by the way. Let's continue. Let me try and catch up.
It's no big deal. Just keep moving on. You're really behind on the chat. I can see.
I'm gonna try and catch up. Okay, yeah. Just has a better kick. Again, at set piece overall as a player, James wins all day. I think that's an argument for another day, and I'm for it. Yeah, I think James is a better player in terms of defending and everything else. Okay, Declan, if you like, he isn't being transferred from League One to. I'm not sure what the argument is about. Again, if you know, it's up to you. Chelsea won't sell James if they do nothing under 125 million. That's even cheap to the price that comes to mind. Again, I want to take this opportunity to say, if you haven't liked the video, please take a second to like the video. We have 128 people watching. And again, I know we can do better than that. And also, I wanted to show you guys this. As you can see on the screen here, already we have 1,000 around. Let me get the correct number so that it refreshes. We have, let me look at it again, 1,659 subscribers. We've gained almost 30 subscribers today. If you haven't, please take a second, like the video, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That helps us grow. Just, look at the screen here. It is 1,659 subscribers. We're trying to reach 2,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And if you haven't, if you love the channel, show some love to the channel by subscribing and also liking the current stream. And apologies for the mix-up, for the little fight we had on the panel today, but it's all good. It shows passion. We all love Chelsea. That's why sometimes things flare up due to argument we're having on the panel. But that's, by the way, a CFC for him. Tuchel used him a few times again. I'm going to try to, if you have any question, I'll address it. My plan to address the issue of being behind the comments is to have what I call studio engineer, who always go while I talk to the panel or to the people in the chat. Somebody will go through the chat and highlight questions that are aligned to what we're talking about for me, so that I don't have to do everything alone. That will make the whole thing easier. Nick is a legend. Declare all of us on the panel. Now, Declan is the legend too. They're all passionate about the club. That's why it sometimes it sounds like they're fighting each other, but that's not really what it is. To be honest, I don't want it neither. Never liked the player. Don't think he will fit in TT's system. Plus, I don't know what player you're talking about, so no need reading that one. Again, I'm going to try the best I can to get to everybody, but it's just quite a lot of, comments there. And this one is a super chat, so I'm obliged to read it. He says, True Blue, if you want just a perspective to read out article comments, you know how to do it. To get to Craven Cottage, you take a Wimbledon train to Putney Green. Again, please, let's not say anything that will come across to anybody as insulting. I hope I don't even understand what that really means. And here's my brother, Almighty Blues FC. Please go check out his channel. Great content there. Hey, Anke says, and then the issue I have about this Tuchel system is that the team don't take advantage of counterattacks. We get counterattacking opportunities. Yep, relax and still be passing the ball around. CFC Steven, your thoughts on this comment on the screen?
I can't see it, bro. What is it?
Okay, let me read it for you. The comment reads, the issue I have about this Tuchel system is that the team doesn't take advantage of counter-attacking opportunities. We get a counter-attack. Our players relax for the opponents to recover. Like, you get what he's saying. We seem to be slow on transition, and the opponent, they get a chance to regroup and then defend our opportunity to attack them.
Yeah, we've always been like that, though. That's our problem. That's why, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
one of our biggest problems this season and the last few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Tuchel need to fix that.
Nick, your thoughts on that comment?
Uh, uh,
The comment is regarding how we don't make the most of counter-attacking opportunities. We seem to pass the ball around, and the opponents,
yeah,
they do
that's
get
what.
the opportunity. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's what I was talking about. When Rudiger bombs forward, well, he used to, but we lost him. Yeah, and I said I was hoping he stays. Declare, I was hoping with my heart he stays. He would change his mind, but he didn't because of Marina and the board. They should have sorted it out, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to kill it with Real Madrid, I'm sure. But look, yeah, we need to play differently sometimes. Use Lukaku. What's the point of putting him on the pitch when you're going to pass left, right, back, left, right? That's so boring to watch. And it's not Chelsea DNA for a start. We never used to be like that before. We were, we could hold the ball, passing 1, 2, 3 quick passes under Glenn Hoddle. Stephen, you remember the way we played. Glenn Hoddle came to the club and changed everything. And we become a greater team. Then Ruud Gullit came in, made it even better. Now, suddenly, we've gone, I don't know what's going on. What's all these passes? Tuchel has to change his system for me. Not Lukaku change the way he plays or anyone else. Tuchel has to change. Otherwise, he's gone. I had enough. This rubbish passing up and down backwards. We're not bloody Tottenham or Arsenal. We're Chelsea Football Club. So, Tuchel has to change it, or I can see him going very soon.
Yeah, again, that's a bold statement there. And again, I think when emotions run high, I think that's when you get people's real opinion. Because Nick, I remember a few days ago, even you also calling for the club to give Tuchel back him and give him a longer contract.
Yes, I'm all for giving him, but he has to change. Don't expect Lukaku to change the way he plays because he won't. He can't change. Lukaku is a counter-attacking player, traditional centre forward. You have to get the ball to him, like we did against Wolves, but we don't do it enough because we're too busy, sideways, backwards, left, right. That doesn't make sense. I love Tuchel too, but I want him to change it. And it's not very hard to do. Change your system to fit the players. Don't just play your system.
But we have to
Yeah.
remember Lukaku is not a Tuchel signing.
Yes,
Again,
Steven,
so he was
also
practically
that, yeah.
imposed on him. Go ahead, guys.
Yes, but he accepted Tuchel. Tuchel accepted him, and he wants him in his plans next year. But, when this preseason starts, get the players in, get everyone, talk to them, and get the system, change the system. And we're far too predictable right now. If we carry on like this, we have no chance of making top 4. I promise you. Next year,
The reason we're predictable is because of Lukaku. When you want to just
it's not Lukaku.
Now hold on, I'm talking. Yeah,
that's easy. Look.
Hold on, I'll let you talk.
No, I was talking.
So now,
go on,
okay, just let him finish.
No,
just let him finish, Declan.
Right, as soon as I start talking, Nick interrupts all the time.
But what's wrong with you, Declan? No, man, you don't talk when I'm talking.
Bro, I started talking, you just interrupt every second, and then you tell me to mute my mic all the time.
Nick, if you're not done, Nick, go ahead. Nick, go ahead. Finish, Nick. Finish, go ahead.
Bro, I'm not going to sit here and say this is Tuchel out.
No, you...
Declan, just let him finish.
I'll let you talk already.
Why are you...
Alright, go talk.
Who you think you are? Tell me.
Go.
Ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Everyone else is a fraud. Go ahead, tell me.
You're the fraud here, right? You and Jem and everyone else.
Nick, you want to talk?
That's what you are. Yeah, I want to talk, but you need interrupts. Do I interrupt him, coach, when he's talking in half an hour? Do I interrupt him? He does this on purpose, so he mixes me. So I forget what I'm going
All
to
right,
say.
Nick, go ahead and make your point, Nick, please. We're having a show here. We're not here to fight ourselves on the panel.
Yeah, but look, I'm talking and he's interrupting and twisting my words. You know, I don't know how you don't see. You just see what Declare does. Nothing else. If you don't want me here, I can go. Don't worry. I don't need any channel.
Nick, do you still have a point to make regarding what we're talking, please? All right, Declare, go ahead and make your point.
Well, I hope Nick's finished, so I don't get interrupted. But to come here and say that Tuchel needs to change for a player that promised to adapt apparently to some people and on that and then to be predictable. The reason we're predictable is everyone's old school type of thinking of, well, let's just give a service to a point man and we win games. Obviously, even you can see it in the best teams, right? That a striker needs to do a lot more, and teams are made up of a lot more. You want to build around Lukaku and just service. Then what happens when Lukaku's injured as well? You need to buy a whole bunch of players like Lukaku as well, and the same players to create him. We can only play one way if people are thinking like that. Right now we have a unique system that teams have struggled. They used to sit back and struggle against us. Now they can't even sit back and they press us. And that's the only way they got a chance, right? We have a very unique system where we're playing a three in the back that used to be very defensive, but we're playing a very high possession, high attacking one. I mean, if Nick doesn't like sideways, then you know, Man City must be the most boring play style you ever seen in his life.
Yeah,
what we have is
I think
in the evolution of tactics and that, we are playing in a unique way that teams are struggling to deal with, and we must bank on it. We must build on this. So we have to play Tuchel's way, not about Lukaku's way, because Lukaku none of the big clubs want Lukaku. They don't want to play that way anymore. It's changing. They need a lot more from their strikers. You don't see the big clubs coming in and want him, even though there was reports that some.
Declare, wait a minute. I'm going to buy him now because you've done the same. Yeah, I'm not saying it about Lukaku, the whole team.
But you complained the same.
Yeah, because we're playing.
You complain when but
you want to see that football left, right, backwards. We don't get nowhere with that. City play like that, but they have a killer instinct. They know when to go and
so if we had a killer instinct, would we be a lot better?
Of course we would.
Yeah, so why not work on the killer instinct rather than changing it to Lukaku's boring, just kick it up and let him chase it?
The Lukaku head comes out again. That's all you
know. No, it's just how, what do you call it? How I see it.
Yeah, you don't see nothing, my friend. And you don't.
Right, here's the thing. Can I
watched Lukaku at Inter Milan too, right? I've actually followed Lukaku. I knew what we're gonna get.
Can I come in now?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. What I want to say first of all is this. I think had this argument gone the way you guys did now, how Nick came in and then made his counter argument, and Declare took it, calmly. He didn't start a fight about it. It will be fine. But that's, by the way, my point now is this. Nick thinks the reason we're boring is the system, right? Nick, am I correct? Yes or no?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Okay. Now, then Declare thinks the reason we're boring, the reason we're boring, it's because whenever Lukaku is in the team, again, that's the way he sees it, and you have every right to see it the way you see it.
Oh, he has.
He has what?
Some of them can't come to the street.
Sorry, Nick, do you say he has what?
I said Declare has so much hate for Lukaku.
Okay, what if I say this, Nick? What if I say you have too much hate for Mason Mount?
That's not true. I never said that.
Exactly, that's not true. For Declare saying that Lukaku is the reason we're boring doesn't mean he hates him.
When I said about Mount, he should have had that penalty. He should have played a lot better.
Yeah,
He wasn't the
You brought up that penalty a lot. It sounds a bit like hate.
Exactly. That's my point. My point I'm trying to make is this: we're all entitled to our opinions. And ask me about Lukaku. I tell you, is he a good player? Yes, he's a good player. Should he be at Chelsea? I'd say absolutely no. Why? He doesn't fit the way the man plays. And I've explained that. Like, that doesn't mean I hate Lukaku, but we should move beyond that. We have a lot to talk about. Please.
Yeah, make my point. Look, if Tuchel...
Nick, go ahead. Everybody's mic is on mute. I think maybe you have, I don't know, you're breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
All right, go ahead. Say what you want to say.
Yeah, I'm going to say, look, you have to get, Tuchel said he's going to give him a chance for next season. He's in his plans. But all Tuchel has to do is change the way we play. Can't be that hard. Go to Lukaku.
Why do you want him? Can you tell me why do you want him to change the way we play?
To get Lukaku scoring or anyone else. We don't score. How are we going
to? In other words, you want us to, to build the team around Lukaku. Is that what you want us to do?
Well, and the other attackers, we have to find a way to get goals. No one's doing it right now. We're going to carry on like this. We have no chance next year for anything. He has to find.
All right. Again, that's your argument. Let me try and catch up so that we can talk about the next thing we have to talk about. Because again, here's how bad the situation is. There's hardly a time that you have a conversation regarding Chelsea Football Club that it will not turn into a fight about Lukaku. Even if you start from the defense, somehow it will turn into a fight regarding Lukaku, and I don't like that. I know you respect Declan. I know Declan respects you, but once emotions are high, Nick, yeah, I respect your love for Chelsea Football Club and how long you follow them, but sometimes you can come across as very insulting. But I'm just glad Declan is used to with such arguments. And there's something I see I will soon highlight, I think, by Olupo that says that is why the show is called Chelsea Perspective. We come from different angles, and he's telling you that. So I know we're mature enough to behave like we're adults and not be fighting each other because the other person doesn't agree with what we say. But again, that's by the way. Go ahead.
I'm not older than anyone here, or maybe I don't know how old True Blue is, but I do have experience with Chelsea. I've been there going all my life. I know the way we used to play. I see the way we play now. And
nobody questions that.
It's not Chelsea's DNA. I'll get carried away because I'm passionate. But that's why.
But then again, Nick, you're old enough and mature enough to always control your emotion, not to come across as insulting to someone else. That's why usually people start saying you're what I believe you're not.
Yeah, when it comes to Chelsea, I fight with my own family or my brother who supports Tottenham. I even swear at him. That's how he is with me. But I don't, of course, it's the love I have for the club.
All right, no problem. Let's just try and catch up. We're far too behind. We still have a lot to talk about. Tuchel already said it Sunday. He will play a 3-at-the-back system. He waxed lyrical about Reece and Chile and wing backs and 2 6s. He ended up changing. We are going nowhere in the league. Okay, here's the thing. I think we're going somewhere in the league. Because, again, there's one thing I've learned. Even when Tuchel plays a 3-at-the-back system, he tweaks things up front. Sometimes he plays with 2 8s. Sometimes he plays with a single 8. And that makes a whole lot of difference to me. So if we get him the players we want, even if he sticks with the 3-at-the-back system, I think he's going somewhere. He doesn't necessarily have to play 4 at the back. Again, I think that we'll get him the players he wants, and he will implement, mix it up sometimes because he's known to mix up formations. Even when he played 3 at the back, sometimes during games, you can see our players switch it up during games. The other time our podcast, ETS, would make him the main guy at Manchester United. Okay, that's a conversation between them. Chelsea have another player in the mode of Reece James who can come in and do a job. His name is Dujon Sterling, and I think I heard Tuchel likes him too. So I'm just going to try and catch up because we're far too behind. This means I may skip some comments. My apologies for that. And if you're new here, please take a second to like the video. We have 115 people watching, And again, we should get more subscribers. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't, that to help us reach 2K subscribers as soon as possible. Hi all, big up, let's all like and subscribe. Thank you very much. And again, go check out CFC Fahim YouTube channel, great content, and also Almighty Blues YouTube channel, great content. So I'm going to skip a few, but I'm going to, of course, read the Queen's comments. She says, please like the stream and subscribe if you haven't. Says that the issue I have about this Tuchel system is that the team don't take advantage. I think I've read that before. I probably went back because there's quite a lot to cover. That's why I need to get a studio engineer to help me highlight the comments. I'm just going to skip everything and then try to stay, not to be far too behind. We're looking at DMs, but we have Bakayoko. And who's Bakayoko again? Earlier declared trying to interfere. He would change the system. Does not suit any of our attackers. He also rotates too much. What a chance of chemistry, etc. That's a good argument. But then again, you could argue because he gets the chance to sign players that will help him, implement his own approach. I think that's a chance. Or some players will leave. So what players did Ancelotti buy? Again, that's another argument for another day. Let's get back to the comment, please. I'll start with you, Nick. Kounde was pictured in London, I think yesterday. He may well still be in London. Does that mean is that a giveaway that he's come to talk with Thomas Tuchel, or do you think we've wrapped up the agreement with him as rumored? Then the only thing left will be to talk with Sevilla and then sign the contract once the restrictions on the club are lifted.
I think it's 100% for you to see him in London. That's the final thing. He's definitely is going to be a Chelsea player next season. I've heard from other people too. We knew this would happen, and we're just waiting for Boehly to get in that office, which is going to be very soon. He's just about to close his briefcase, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope we do. And before, go ahead. If you're still talking, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I said he'd be the first signing. He will be, and he's a great player, and I can't wait to see him next season. I can't say much about the guy. He has everything for me, that is. Yeah,
he is a fine player indeed. I hope we get him. The height for me isn't an issue, given the discussion we've had here. Again, he is he got quite a lip on him. And before I go to CFC Steven, I want to quickly thank everybody in the chat. You guys are absolute legends. We have 122 likes so far, and there's a chance we get to 200 likes before the end of the show. Please also, if you haven't, do like the video. It takes just a second. And apologies. Today, I skipped quite a lot of comments. Why? Because I was far behind. We had to sort out an issue on the panel. And also, again, I said I'll arrange with somebody to be the studio engineer and take care of the comments for me, so I don't do everything by myself and be far too behind as I am today. And I'm going to refresh these and tell you guys, yeah, truly, you guys are all you guys are absolute legends, because we've gone up beyond 1,659. Right now, I think it's at 1,672. And you see that yourself. You see that. So you guys are absolute legend. So we have just how many? We have about 28 to get to 1,700 subscribers. And believe me, if we work on it, if we subscribe, if you're watching, you haven't subscribed and you subscribe, we can actually get to 2,000 subscribers today. And that's why I say you're all absolute legends. And thank you for that progress. Thank you also for 124 likes. Please do like the video if you haven't, and also subscribe to the channel if you have not. And wherever you're watching from, whether on Facebook or on YouTube, if you want to participate in the giveaway, you have to join the panel. And this is what you do. You have to type. So let's do the giveaway before we continue the conversation. But I'll wait for you as you put in your entry. You have to type a pound sign. Pound sign. Thank you, Roman. And remember, we still have the Roman Abramovich tribute contest, which starts once the new owners are announced. This is what you type here, and I'm going to wait for you to do it as soon as possible. So before, as I wait for you to type or put in your entry for the giveaway, I'm going to come back to the panel. Your thoughts on the last question I asked is Stephen.
What, Jules Kounde?
Yeah, seeing him in London, is that a sign, or do you think it's just a coincidence?
I think he was coming to check out the city and look for houses, but I think that deal will get wrapped up as soon as Todd is pronounced. And I think once Todd is pronounced, that could come a day or two after. I think it's all done. It's all in the pipeline, ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I do agree with you, because usually when players are serious about moving to a particular club, usually the first thing they do is they go house hunting. That may well be the case. And also, there's no way, none of us are there. That's a chance that it was a coincidence. Declare your thoughts. Have we lost Declare? Is he still on the panel?
Hello?
Yeah, your thoughts, brother.
If he's here, it's more than done, huh? It's happy to see. It'll be great to get that deal out of the way if they do wrap it up quick. And we move on to the next one. I hope they knock out these transfers really quick, and we just see one after another, rather than waiting all the way to the last month and try to get all of them done.
Yeah, again, I thank you for that. So quickly, even if you're on the panel and you want to participate in the giveaway, you can just type in a pound sign. Thank you, Roman Bakayoko won the Scudetto Cucilla on the bench. You didn't say that part. I said infer, not interfere. Okay, yeah, thank you. The system works, in my opinion. Maybe we overrate the current attackers. There's a chance that's the case. Again, you could argue the other way around. Hey, Tobago, I didn't see you. Did I miss Tobago? Tobago, nice to see you here, brother. I hope you're doing well. Did I send you the link today? I don't remember. Giroud won it. Yeah, Giroud won it, because it's the guy, Giroud, and what's our boy, the former defender, Tomori. They both did great for them. Again, do you see what you need to type? I'm waiting for you to put in your entry. It's easy to stop our counters when we have slow-footed and poor passing players trying to counter. Again, you could attribute to our lack of ability to, make the most of counter-attacking opportunities to the slow approach to the game by our midfielders, specifically Jorginho. And that's not me, calling him names or hating on him. Again, this is what you type. I'll wait for you like in 2 minutes so that we'll do the draw and move ahead with the show. You type it like this. Thank you, Roman. I've liked the video. Thank you very much. And I hope you've subscribed to. This is what you do here. Thank you, Roman. It's what you type. Hashtag thank you, Roman. Each word starts with capital letter. Yep, it is like this. Pac-Man SA, who was the last person that won it? If you won it yesterday or in a month, you're not allowed to participate today. Okay, this is Nick Blue, True Blue. We have, yep, this is how you type it. Thank you, Roman. The hashtag not pound, not pound. Yeah, that's correct. Again, thank you, Roman. That's what you type. Wherever you're watching from, whether on YouTube or Twitter, if you want to be part of the giveaway, you have to join us on YouTube and type these. Do you think Levi Caldwell will have a part next season, like how Chalobah being this season? That's a chance. But I'd suggest if they make it, have they played the playoffs already? After the playoffs, if they make it to the Premier League, I'd suggest he stays there with them one more season. Why? Because he still have that rush in him, the eagerness, the bond will still be there. And then get one more season in the Premier League that prepares him to be part of the first team. I think that may well be the case. Again, it says, thank you, Roman. Yeah, exactly. That's how you type it. Wherever you're watching from, you have to come over here to participate in the giveaway. So I'm just going to, while I open the giveaway tool, I want to ask you this, Declare, your thoughts on the whole thing that's being talked about regarding Roman Abramovich Portuguese citizenship, on how the British government has to wait for the Portuguese for Portugal to give them a go before they approve the sale of the club to the man. I don't know what kind of nonsense is that. I'm confused a bit. Why is that even important?
Uh, if you've been following, every time the deal is close,
So something comes up.
they'll make up something. They're doubling down on the news. I think they have no idea. The media just trying to make trying to cause doubt, because that will sell. Because then they'll go, the deal's happening every time. Every time they say the deal's happening soon, and then he wants his money back, and all this, and all of it turned out to be untrue as well. After Roman came out and made a statement too about it. So I think this is just another one of those. It has nothing to do with it. He can already sign from anywhere. I don't know what the Portuguese government has anything to do with it. So
that's what I'm saying. It just doesn't make sense to me. And from what I'm seeing from Pice and some news outlets, is that how is that even important? How is that even relevant to the sale of the club? His Portuguese citizenship. Nick, you tell me, what do you think?
Yeah. Look, I've said it from the beginning before they come out with the news that Roman wants his money back. What did I say? It's all media agenda against Chelsea, media talk. Matt Law and the rest of them trying to make clips, likes, whatever. It's a huge story. No truth into it. They just want to make a bad story for Chelsea, like always. So don't believe. I'll never believe what they say from since the sanctions, before the sanctions. So I don't know why you're not still believing in this garbage. I must say rubbish.
Yeah, good question you asked me, Nick. You want me to respond to that question you just asked me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because first of all, we thought it was just going to be a month. We're into like the third or fourth month, aren't we? And every time we'll have an announcement within a few days, within the week. Sometimes we've heard that like 5 times, and now what we're hearing, we have an announcement within the next 24 hours. Look, do I think we're nearing the completion of the takeover process? I think so.
Yeah.
Why? The only thing that gives me concrete evidence that we're nearing the completion of the sale process is the tweet by Trivago that they deleted.
Yes. That. Sorry. Yeah,
you're fine. Sorry.
Yeah, that with Trivago, that was the first thing, and now we're getting very close. It's 24 hours from today. 24 hours, so that be Wednesday. But it will. I said Wednesday myself. That's what I'm thinking it will be. Still, it's true. That's tomorrow, by the way. If it's not tomorrow, it's got to be by Friday. Like they said last week. They said if not this week, next week, definitely. That was from Jacobs, the one who said they were talking, lying about us, about Roman and all that in the beginning. He's the one.
We can't trust any of them.
No, you can't trust. You can't trust these journalists. No, I never have. I never will. Not Matt Law, not Phillips, not Kinsella. None of them. They don't know about. They don't belong to Chelsea. They're just people making up. They know everything, but they don't. They don't.
Your thoughts, Stephen. Your thoughts on this whole thing, because it's been like it's just like a sign. Let's say a sign, where you say no credit today, come back tomorrow. You come back tomorrow, you see the same sign, then you come the next day. This is more like a sign that says that the Chelsea new owners will be announced tomorrow. You come back tomorrow, you see the same sign, you see Chelsea new owner will be announced tomorrow. It's been going round and round and round and round for a while now, and we're still there, and we're still hearing there are issues. Even the BBC is carrying a story saying there are some issues, hurdles. So they phrased it, in the sale. They say major hurdles in the sale of Chelsea Football Club. So can you come in and let us know what you know, or if you think they're all just lies that we're close to getting the new owners?
Well, I think it's BS about the Portugal, but I've been listening to Ben Jacobs, and Ben Jacobs has been spot on with everything he said. And I've seen him on some YouTube channels, and everything he says is spot on. So I believe Ben Jacobs, and I think tomorrow we're going to hear something from the club. I think we're going to get a pronouncement tomorrow or Thursday morning.
Okay? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Hopefully that happens. And here's the thing: if that happens, let me say I'll donate $50 to your favorite charity organization.
Okay, but I really
You
think
say by
I really
what time
think
tomorrow?
I think it could be morning or mid afternoon or 5 p.m.
Okay, let's just give it the whole day tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we're going to hear something tomorrow
All right.
because Ben Jacobs is very confident we're going to hear something.
Yeah, that's the only guy I trust, Stephen.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if that happens. Just remember my promise. And here, I thank you, True Blue, also for educating me on this because I was really confused as to why that would be. Why Roman's Portuguese citizenship will be an issue. His Roman is sanctioned by the European Union, so as being technically a Portuguese citizen, he needs a clearance as owner to agree and sign away the deal. And then how soon do you think the clearance will come? This type of things usually don't come within a day. So let's see what happens. And hopefully I'll be glad to donate to your favorite charity organization. Hopefully it gets announced tomorrow. We can celebrate and then start the Roman Abramovich tribute contest where the winner gets to win $150. So we will do two giveaways today. I will do the draw twice because we need one more person to complete the number of participants in the Roman Abramovich tribute contest. So now I don't think there's anything else to read here. It says declared they cannot complete and register. He's under contract until June 30. Why haven't a Real Madrid officially declared a Rudiger? Yep, that's the truth. He's under contract. He's not gonna.
How did Villa sign Kamara? That's what I asked him.
He's already. Yeah, that's a good question. That maybe Tribly will have something else to tell us that we'll learn from your boy.
That's pretty direct.
Oh my God!
I guess when you're right, you get boring. It's probably pretty bad to be wrong all the time. The market hasn't closed until July. I showed him tips and examples. He won't change his lie.
Okay, so we have 10 entries, and again, it doesn't matter if you're a content creator. If you want to join, just take a minute quickly, type your own thank you reminder to be part of the contest. I'm gonna again go back and do the draw again. Anybody else want to add there? Again, can I have a StreamYard link in a bit? I'll try and send it to you, but this computer is really giving me big problems. I'll try and find a way to give it to you through my phone or via my phone, so to speak. Start again. Have 10.
Send it to True Blue as well, so he comes on. I mean, I want to see someone say deluded and stuck in his way.
I don't know who True Blue is. We're not connected on Twitter.
True Blue's not going to show naked pictures. I hope he doesn't.
The club.
Are you True Blue? You got some naked pictures to show everyone?
No, I think he sounds responsible, and he's a mod too. So I don't think you. Yeah. Okay, now let's go to it. I'm going to go back again and try one more time. Nick, have you entered?
Yeah, I think I have.
Okay. Yeah, now I'm just going to do the draw. The first draw I'm going to do. Yep. Good luck to everyone. And the second draw will be to get the last contestant for the Roman Abramovich tribute show. So Imayada Akira, congratulations to you. You're the winner of today's giveaway. So you get $50. And here's how you get it. You must have PayPal. If you don't have one, create one. I will make an exception for TC because I don't see where to find the means that's convenient for her to send her own price. But winner Imayada Akira, congratulations to you. Connect with me on Twitter. Prove that you're the one. And also, I hope you have a PayPal account, and in a few hours today, you get your prize money. So I'm going to go back again and do another draw. And the second draw will be for, again, I went too far, will be for the winner the last to complete the number of contestants that we need for the Roman Abramovich tribute contest. And so I'm going to have to retype this. Thank you, Roman. There you go. Capito, that's not it. So I'm going to run it again. The next person will be part of the Roman Abramovich tribute contest, where you get a chance to win $150 if you make it to the final and win. Thank you, Roman. Capito. Also, I have to rewrite this. Thank you, Roman. Okay, so collect. We have 11 people now because one more person added again back. Draw it again. So let's do it and see who becomes the final participant in the Roman Abramovich tribute contest. Tobago had already qualified, so I'm going to do that again. And Nick already has a slot. Air Suleiman is the number 8 contestant for the Roman Abramovich tribute contest. So you get a chance to win $150 if you make it to the final and win. So let's get back to what we're talking about. I think we can say we're done. We've talked enough about the ownership issue. Let's start. Let's preview, the season, and we get to rate the players as soon as possible. So we'll be quick about this one. Declan, I'll start with you. Which of the games this past season would you say is the best for you? Where Chelsea would you could say the best performance?
There hasn't been that many, to be honest.
Yeah, but at least even if they're all bad, this one of them should be the best for you.
Probably the second leg of the Real Madrid game. To really go for it, where I felt we had no hope, but I think we kind of showed it was a performance to say, we kind of deserved to beat you, but we lost in a way. We probably deserved to go through to the finals, but it just didn't happen. So I think to rise up was great. That's the one for me.
How about you, Nick? Which of the games?
Yeah, for me, we had a few. Against Liverpool, we played very well in all the games. Even the FA Cup final, we came to life in the second half when we were under pressure. But the best game we ever played last season, it's easy. It's the Real Madrid away in the Bernabeu, in front of Real Madrid fanatical fans, and we showed what we were made of, what we are made of. That's the only game we really showed what Chelsea is. We never die. And I said it before, we're going to bounce back. Like it nearly happened. We were unlucky. But that's far the most best game we played.
Yeah, I think it stands out too. But I think some people may differ. And if you're in the chat, let us know which of the games that Chelsea plays this just concluded season is the best for you and why. Again, Steve, your choice.
Best game of the season, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Juventus at home and Real Madrid away.
Juventus at home, the one we beat them where Ventura got injured.
4-0.
Was it okay under this season? It was this season? Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah.
So why did that stand out for you?
Because we were clinical and we scored goals. We scored 4 goals, and we don't really score 4 goals. So for me, So that one stands out for me.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense given the fact. Go ahead.
There was a couple of academy players who scored goals. I think Callum, Reece, Loftus. Was it Loftus or someone else?
Chalobah. He made an assist.
And Chalobah scored a header. I remember. I was there. Yeah, that game stands out for me.
Yeah, I think it was indeed, overall. For me, I think I would say the game against Real Madrid, given the size of the club, given the fact that we had lost at home and nobody gave us a chance to even, nobody gave us a chance to beat them at the Bernabeu. And believe me, we could have beaten them. We had the chance to win that game, but I think we didn't find a balance between trying to score goals and also defending.
I think
that
once
was
we scored 3 goals, we should have sat back. We kept attacking. That was our problem.
yep. Well, we should have made changes. I think to me, if you ask me, I would argue that what's his name, Ruben Loftus-Cheek should have come off that game, because I think was it the first goal or the second goal on the flanks that Vinicius crossed for Benzema. He didn't track him back. He just left him and started drifting towards the midfield. So Vinicius now had the space, to run down the flanks and then put in a perfect cross for Benzema. Again, let me ask you. I think we cannot agree. To me, I think Nick, who picked the Juventus game?
Juventus game. Yeah, it was good 4-0, but Juventus are not as good as Real Madrid. We went to Real Madrid and we outplayed them. We beat them on the night, but because of Benzema, we lost the game. But that's for me is far the best performance, which I've seen for quite a while now.
Why would you say? Why did we lose that game? Because I've voiced my opinion on why I think we lost that game.
You said it yourself, because we kept attacking. You score 3 goals, you don't keep attacking. Play it safe. Bring Jorginho on, to control the game. No, we kept Loftus on. That's why we lost. We would have won. We would have gone out. We would have been in the semi-final. We would have made the final, and I think we would have won it in the end. But little mistakes like that cost us. Tuchel got it wrong. He had to defend, keep the. I even said it. He said himself he should have defended it. But the players wasn't listening, I think, to Tuchel. They just went for it, kept going.
No, I wouldn't blame the players. I wouldn't blame the players. You already said, Nick.
When you're winning 3-0, it's a quarter-final of a European game, the biggest game ever, and you don't hold it. No, there's no excuses. Who do you blame? I blame everyone. Tuchel and the players for not doing that. But otherwise, I can't blame them. They produced something special, and that was something to watch. Far best game of the season, easily the best game. And the 10-man performance at Liverpool, don't forget. That was another great one. I don't forget. We should have beaten them with 10 men. And they had 12. They had Anthony Taylor playing on the left wing. And we still got a draw. So, we had some good games this year. It's not just one. We had a few. Juventus, Liverpool, I would say 4-3 times. And, they were the main standout games.
Yeah, and the one for you is the Real Madrid game, right? And look at it here.
For sure, Real Madrid away was the best.
Yeah, look at it here. This is Real Madrid away. The fact is we had no business losing that game. Expected goals, the XG is 2.73 for us, while theirs were 1.23. Total shots, 28 shots, there's 10. Big chances, 5, there's 2. Big chances missed. We missed 4 big chances. Accurate passes, we had 649 accurate passes. Percentage 87% pass accuracy. Theirs is 82. We had almost 200 more passes than them. Again, fouls committed 20 times, which means we played like we wanted to win it. Offsides 1. There's a corners. We had 10 corner kicks at the Bernabeu. 57% overall. Ball position. There's 43. Declan, do we have? No, we had Declan. Let me know. Should we have lost this game at all?
The game's not all about stats.
Yeah, but look at it. Let's say at least expected goals. For instance, this is overall what happened after the game. This stats come after the game. Numbers showed we did well enough to win it, but what went wrong for you?
Didn't take their chances. That's simple as that. We had a lot of chances. We didn't take them. They had someone who's one of the best strikers in the world at the moment. Just needs half a chance, and that's enough for him. And that's simple as that. That's how Real Madrid have been progressing. I mean, that was the same as in the Man City game as well. So our issue has been just converting, and it's been for seasons. I mean, you're going to see similar stats in a lot of the games we lost like this. There's a lot of games we should not have lost, and it's the same problem. And I hope we rectify it.
Yeah, let me ask you this: do you blame Tuchel to any measure? Because again, I argued this. I love Thomas Tuchel, believe me, and I'm not going to lie about it. But the truth remains, had it been Jose Mourinho, he will find a way to end that game when it was just a 3-0. We scored a 3 first, right? Yeah, let me look at it here. Declare, correct me if I'm wrong. We scored a 3 goals before they answered anything. Let me go further up. I think I'll find it somewhere here. So we scored in the 15th minute, 54th minute, and then 75th minute. We were 3-0 up before they came back from 80th minute and then Benzema 96th minute.
Yeah, lasted 5 minutes.
Exactly. So do you blame Tuchel to any measure? Because I blame him.
You can't blame Tuchel.
Really?
Tuchel's
Tell
not
me
the one
why I
scoring the
shouldn't
goals.
blame him.
Because Tuchel sets up the team, and by that point he was all out for the chances. The system is meant to create the chances, right? And how we function. The players on the pitch have lost that. There was mistakes. We didn't convert, and Tuchel can. Do you expect any manager to take care of individual mistakes and take care of the chances that we score? That falls on the players. A manager can only do so much.
Declan, I'll be honest with you again. I'll repeat myself, and I'll let CFC Steven come in. Had it been Mourinho, believe me, he will not lose that game. With 3-0 up. Again, I think that's been like for me. I think Loftus-Cheek, I think he was in that game also stayed too long for me. And I explained to you what happened. He had the opportunity to follow Vinicius so that I think was it Reece James stays back and then read the game so well and then cover the passing lanes. But instead, Loftus-Cheek started drifting into the pitch because he couldn't catch up with Vinicius, probably because he's tired. Now, go ahead.
Yeah,
what I was going to say, the same mistakes.
Loftus-Cheek, he was standing there like a statue, like you keep saying about Lukaku. Loftus-Cheek just stopped. He stood there. That's why we conceded that goal. And like you said, Mourinho would have never lost this game, or any other Chelsea manager. When you're 3-0 up, you don't lose games. Especially this one. Tuchel got it wrong, and we have to admit it. We love him, but he got it wrong.
Go ahead, Declan. You were saying something.
Look, when it comes to those mistakes, it doesn't matter who's the manager or who's the coach. In any team, you can't do nothing about them. They're individual mistakes. Even for Mourinho, nothing would happen. By that point, I think we made a lot of attacking subs too. We went for it.
Well, Declare, look, let me ask you something.
Nick,
hold on.
Let him finish,
Let me ask him something. Yeah, but look, Tuchel had a chance to take off Loftus-Cheek and bring Jorginho on to hold the game, and he didn't. So that's the problem.
Yeah, but we at that in the 80th minute, I think we already made a whole bunch of subs.
I actually think we took Ruben off in that game.
He stayed too long for me.
Yeah.
He stayed too long.
There was only 5 minutes. There was only 5 minute difference too.
Finish your argument. Go ahead, Declan.
So yeah, there was only 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes. I think it was 4 minutes before they scored. Maybe Tuchel's intention was to shift it and have everyone sit behind. But before he could even react, right? We had copped the goal. But by that point, we were all out. As longer the longer the game went, the more attacking we became. We were chasing the game. So to revert from that point instantly into making all these subs, I can't even remember. Did we have any subs left? I think we made a lot of attacking subs as well, and there wasn't a lot of players to come that was going to change everything. And like I said, it was down to individual errors too. So he could have made those changes, and we could have still copped the goals.
Can we all still hear Declared, or is it me?
I think I'm done. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you now. Sorry, bro. Oh, sorry. We didn't hear everything. You broke up. Where you were talking about making changes. Yeah.
I'm not sure how many subs he had left, but by that point, the subs were all intent were attacking. For him to just switch to complete defense was going to happen. Maybe would have happened in a bit more time, but we were already all out. And there was individual errors too, so it doesn't matter all the subs you could have made, right? It still might not have changed. Because those mistakes will still lead to goals. So to say ultimately, you should have done this and should have done that, we should have done better. The players should have done better. And that's always going to happen. And in this game, we could have scored a lot more too.
So let's look at this. Yeah, we could have scored a lot more. We missed 4 big chances. We scored our last goal in the 75th minute. Jorginho came on as Nick Blue said Tuchel should have done. And let me see here. Jorginho came on in the I think I saw it here. Jorginho came on in the 78th minutes. That's 3 minutes after we scored the goals. And Madrid started scoring, what minute again? In the 88th minute. So Jorginho was already on the pitch, Nick. So Jorginho himself didn't even make much of an impact. So again, it's difficult to really tell what the issue was then, but I think Tuchel could have done more to win that game. Loftus-Cheek, when did he leave the pitch? Let me see. Where is he? He left the pitch on 106 minutes. He stayed too long. That's the thing. He stayed too long. Probably after that goal, after that, Tuchel see how he didn't close down Vinicius Junior. That was when he said, "Okay, I'm done." So again, I'm not looking at, but it is confusing. I couldn't believe it. It was one of our best games, but yet we lost this. Do you have anything to add, CFC Steven?
No, I just agree with Declared. What he said is spot on. So I just agree. We just left too many players on for too long, and we shouldn't have kept attacking. We should have just parked the bus and saw it out for me.
Yeah, we don't actually necessarily have to park the bus. We didn't just play with the balance like I argued. We would just focus on scoring more goals. If we found the balance and be cautious, yes, we need to attack them because they'd be all out to score goals. We got more opportunities as we should. So again, you could argue somewhat it is probably because we didn't, take our chances like Declared argued, because had we scored those 4 goals, there'll be no close to us in terms of winning on aggregate. But that's, by the way, we had no business losing this game, given the way we played that day. But then again, it is a memorable game. It is on aggregate, they beat us. Okay, I'm going to ask you this, Declan, starting with you again. The worst game of the season for you?
Ooh.
That's a difficult one for you, right?
It
I
is.
think, to me,
there was so many bad moments.
Yeah, I'd say it's obvious for me, but go ahead. I'd say one. I have one in mind, but you go ahead. Let me see if you pick a different game.
I can't pick a game, to be honest. The worst.
You're right. If you can, go ahead. If you can
any
pick
of the
one,
cup
fine.
finals.
If not,
It could even be that first Real Madrid game. I think maybe that even the loss to Brentford, the 4 goals, we had a few of them. I mean, there's been a lot of it. I can't pick one, to be honest. I'll just go with the first leg of the Real Madrid game. Maybe that meant a lot more on how we were going and what was left of the season and the potential to make the finals again.
Okay, Nick Blue, how about you?
Yeah, I must say, yeah, that Real Madrid game. You know, I was there. I was there at that game. It was so important, and we didn't. We made too many mistakes. Mendy of all people cost us that game with Christensen and even Rudiger. Everyone played bad that game, but we had a few bad games. We had Brentford again. I was there. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, not just from the players but from the crowd. That was an unbelievable experience. Bad experience. I don't know if Stephen was there. He would know what I mean if he was there. But the worst one has to be the 6-0 loss to City. How can you lose 6-0? That was the worst.
We lost 6-0 to City. What year?
Last season.
Sorry, yeah.
Was it Surrey? No, last season.
No.
Who did we lose?
No, it was
No, we didn't
Sorry, it
lose
was
6-0 to under Thomas Tuchel. No, that didn't happen under Thomas Tuchel.
Oh, so the 4-1 Brentford was the worst loss for Tuchel. Yeah, sorry.
So the one for you is which one? The Brentford game?
Well, it's both. Brentford. All right, it was a league game. It didn't mean as much as Real Madrid at home, but that was bad. And I hate to agree with declared, who's undeclared anyway, but I have to agree with him. It's a Real Madrid game. The loss 3-1 was unacceptable. Pathetic performance by every single player.
I'm going to do a poll.
And Tuchel himself. He was bad as well. So they all got it wrong, and that's why we went out of the quarterfinal because of our stupid mistakes. You know, I can't believe it still.
Steve, how about you? Which of the games would you say is the worst for you this past season?
I would say Brentford or Arsenal at home, because Brentford, we scored a goal, then we was just all over the place. I was at both games, and we were all over the place. They were just running at us and just could get through on goal. It was horrible to watch. It really was. The Madrid game.
Just choose one. Which one?
I'll say Brentford. Brentford at home.
Brentford at home. Okay, I'm going to do a poll so that we say, and then again, I have to go Brentford at home too. So we have 2-2 on the panel. Before I complete the poll and ask those in the chat, sorry, let me ask you this, Declan, excuse me, something just got into my mind. I don't know what it is. Maybe a hand sanitizer. Declan, let me ask you this. Now, Benzema scored 3 headed goals against us. 2 was at home. 1 at the Bernabeu, right? Am I correct?
Yeah. Imagine if we had Kounde, it would be a lot worse.
He hasn't come already, and you're insulting him. But I'm just kidding anyway. The question for me is, now I've argued this before. Whether we like it or not, Carlo Ancelotti, he knows Thiago Silva very well, and Thiago Silva, as good as he is, defending corner kicks and crosses isn't one of his best attributes or strongest suits, if you like. Do you think it was by design that happened?
Or do you not necessarily the matchup.
Do you think it was yeah? Or do you think it's just a coincidence? To me, I think it's by design. Given that in that game, we lacked, because Antonio Rudiger, isn't that the best also at defending crosses when it's in the air, but he can defend well when it's on the carpet. But go ahead, I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, it's not by design the matchup. It's by design to get the ball in the box. For Vinicius Jr. to get down that line and to get the ball in the box was by design. There's never like, oh, you must, you gotta put it on his head and he will beat Silva. No, the tactic was just to create the chance and to get the ball there, right? Once you get, so that's how most of the tactics are done. It's all about just getting the position, getting that ball into the box and the right people in there, and that's it. There's no massive assessment. Oh, well, he's this tall and he's not going to get that height. There's not a massive match-to-match ratio of that, because what happens if Silva didn't play? Does that throw Benzema's plans out the window? So by design was to get the ball in the box as much as possible through Vinicius Junior, through exploiting some of the spaces we had. Not much on the right side, and Benzema was on the line a lot too. There was some through balls, and they were ready to counter. So it was by design before the header, if that makes sense.
I think it makes sense again, but I get your point quite clearly. But my argument is that it is by design because Carlo knows Thiago Silva very well from AC Milan and also PSG. And then that day, I think Andres Christensen wasn't there because he was one in terms of defending crosses that comes in the air, even on the carpet. I think he's one of the best. He has issues. But again, I think we had guys in our backline that they weren't, the best in terms of defending aerial balls. But that's, by the way, let me get your thoughts, but let me quickly read these. During those 4 minutes we were ahead, I was shouting at the TV for TT to shut the shop. And that he did not do. That's where I blame him, but again, that's me. Nick, tell me about the 3-headed goals from a single individual against us. And it could have been actually 4. That was one he missed.
Yeah. Yes, he missed one. That's Benzema. You give him one little sniff and he scores.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I want Lewandowski to come, because he's a similar player. He's old, but he's got it like Benzema has. And the problem is, Rudiger was out of position a couple of times. He wasn't nowhere near. Him and Christensen, actually. I remember in the first leg, they both, they didn't know what to do. They froze, and Benzema just came in like anything. He's a great player, Benzema, but we could have done better, especially Christensen and Rudiger. They should have done much better against him. And that's what I was saying before the game. The only way to beat Real Madrid is to stop Benzema, and we didn't do it. We done it last season, but we didn't do it this year. You remember last season he didn't have a sniff because we marked him out the game. This time we didn't. We failed to do that.
Yeah. Again, that's a great input there, and you paid attention to what was happening. How about you, Steve? Your thoughts on that 3-headed goals by Benzema against us in the 2 legs in the Champions League?
I think Mendy should have saved one at the bridge and one at the Bernabeu.
The headers.
Yeah. I think.
Can you explain to us?
I think the one at the Bernabeu was close to Mendy, and I think he could have got to it. I think he could have saved it, but I think he wasn't concentrating properly for me. I think he could have saved it. I really do.
Okay, I agree with you. Again, I'm going to still restate my argument. I love you guys, but I'm still going to argue the Carlo Ancelotti, Madrid knew exactly what they were doing. They knew we were poor at defending crosses when it's on the air, but on the carpet, usually we kick them out. But that's, by the way, if you're in the chat, we have, again, 130 likes already, and you guys are absolute legend. We have a few minutes to round up, but there's a chance we can get it to 200 likes if you keep liking the video. And we will get more people to join us. And the more people join us here, the more fun it is. And we can get to 2,000 subscribers today. Right now, we're at 1,677 subscribers. Again, if you haven't, please do take a second to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I appreciate that. And again, I must let you know, you guys are absolute legends. Again, let me try and catch up with the chat before I come back to the panel. And I've read that Pacman, sorry, there are better metaphors. Mount Mason, he's good but problem selfish. Again, your opinion, and I agree. Had it been a little less selfish, especially under Frank Lampard, would have scored more goals. but believe me, he's one of our best players and the future. I know Nick will find a way to, stretch his hands and slap me. Mason Mount is a Douglas. Again, Thiago was a beast, a defending set piece in corners in his younger days. I think it's what age gives. You could argue that also Lukaku, he's a good, he's slow again. Some arguments there. Let me see if there's anything else to read. Chelsea will win the title next season. I think that you might as well be prepared if we make too many changes. As certain that will be the case because we've started talking about rebuild. That may well be the case here. I've read that too. Again, from the Queen of the House says that getting knocked out of the Champions League, one of the most heartbreaking moments of the season for me. But maybe better to be beaten by Real Madrid than Man City in the semifinals. That's something I saw quickly in the chat before we talk about the Brentford game. But let me look at the poll that I have out again. Chelsea versus. Let me see. I can't see it again. Worst performance of the season. Some people say Chelsea versus Brentford home, 11% only. Chelsea versus Madrid at home, 40%. Chelsea versus Arsenal home, 50%. I didn't know we were going to talk about that game, but if that's the case, I'll find the game. Then that's the one we're going to talk about. What I wanted to ask, it's this comment by True Blue where he says something about how Pep dealt with us. I think I made a video about that game. I can't find it. True Blue, maybe if you can type it again, I will see it. How Pep dealt with us. Our players didn't even catch a breath. Okay, it is this one. I highlighted it. Thank goodness. Declan, I'm going to start with you because that begs the question whether at the time we became too predictable. And if you ask me, I'd say that's the case. Because you could argue Pep is a smart man. Probably he started preparing for Chelsea after they lost against us in the Champions League final because subsequent games we played against them, our players seemed startled. And I think Pep probably looked at it, and the argument I've had against our players is that we're not really good at progressing the ball when opponents press us aggressively or when they press us strategically. And especially in that first leg in the league, we were awful. It was as if the Man City players knew that is who every Chelsea player would want to pass the ball whenever they have it. We couldn't even find, our players were not able to find their teammates. They blocked all the passing lanes for each of our players, and our players looked startled. They knew not, they were not able to do anything else. And we were lucky it was just 1-0. Declan, what do you think happened in that game?
That was when we played Jorginho, Kante, cover in the midfield, Lukaku and Werner up front, which everyone is screaming for to change the system. That was a change in system and the way we play for that game. And it wasn't even more that we were found out. That system didn't work at all. We were so pegged back that, and we didn't even play that well, that we couldn't get the ball to Lukaku or Werner, or they never came back as well to assist. There was a massive gap between those two, and that's how the game went, where we were just pegged back in our own half, and that's it. And we were no threat. We didn't even look like scoring, and that was when people are asking for a system change. That was closer to what people were looking for, I guess, just to play counter football. Yeah, and that's what people want: creative players to kick the ball long, for players like Werner and Lukaku, this very old school style of playing too, and find Pep's way of passing the ball side to side, which they do a lot, boring, and we got schooled in that game. And if people are going to be like, we need more creators and stuff like that, maybe we should take a page out of Pep's book and the way they're playing, and say maybe we should be matching them on possession and passing, rather than us just let's play to Lukaku's strengths or Werner's strengths and just kick the ball long with people that can do those 45-yard passes. because even in that game, that wouldn't have worked out properly.
That was a home game, right?
Mm,
It was the
sure.
first one was at home, I think. Even both two legs and in the
I
league.
I feel like it was Man City's home game. That fun.
Okay,
sure.
okay. I think the first one, that awful performance was at home. I think we were beaten by KDB's goal. I think if you're in the chat, let us know the first game we played against Man City last season. Was it at home or away? At home, yeah. KDB's game. So let me go with you, Stephen, since you're talking before I go to Nick. What do you think happened in that game?
Oh, it's hard to say. I think Pep knows how to play against Chelsea. I really do. I think he's got our number. I honestly do. I think in the Champions League final, we were lucky. I really do. That's all I got to say, really.
Go ahead, Nick. What do you think about that home loss against City? That we were awful. We conceded just one goal, but it could have been worse. Nick, are you still there? Yeah, if you use your phone, it takes about 10 minutes for you to unmute your phone. But I'm going to keep reading the chat, and I'll let Nick talk whenever he comes back. And again, Lupo says Thiago was a beast, a defending set piece. And again, I think I've read that. Let me see if there's anything I'm missing here. Again, Pac-Man, True Blue, you're only triggered because you are a Pulisic stand. Again, that's argument between you two. Chelsea will win the title, and that's not going to happen if you make too many changes. And again, we have 131 likes. You guys are absolute legend. If you haven't already, please do like the stream. And we are at 1,678 subscribers. 2 more to get 1,680. And no, a few more to get to 1,700. We can actually get to 2,000 subs today if we want to. We can do that. Please like the stream and subscribe. Man City came guns blazing for that match after losing tries to us this past season. Exactly, they figured out how to play against us, and because I think the trigger for Pep was that final loss in the Champions League final. And again, that's where I disagree with Steve. We weren't lucky. We played well. We played like we wanted to win it. They had chances, but they couldn't score, and that's because our players were good enough to defend very well. Like that last ditch attack by Antonio Rudiger. So I'd say I argue we deserve to win the final, but then again, Pep started the game and came up prepared. He came prepared, and again, he wasn't going to lose to us again. Even law of averages teaches us that that wasn't going to happen again. So Nick, you're back to the panel now. What do you think happened in that game against Manchester City, the first leg where we lost 1-0, but it could have been worse? Nick, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah,
go ahead.
Tuchel got it wrong. It wasn't correct to play 3 in the midfield. That was wrong. And I think we did play 3 in the midfield.
Oh, you are agreeing with Declan in that area?
No, I don't agree nothing with Declan. Declan hasn't got a clue. But I don't know what you have him on anyway. Send him back to the GNA, please. Yeah.
Calling them GNA. Jem is my friend, please. Go ahead.
He's not my friend. He's a Blue Lounge friend, so he's not my friend. Mm-hmm. Anyone on the Blue Lounge is not my friend. Or friends of these so-called...
Nick, go ahead with that topic. We're not here to talk who's fighting who.
All right. Yeah, so look, it was wrong decision to play 3 of them in the middle. And Pep sussed us out because, we were too predictable. Doesn't take a magician to suss that out. It's not like anyone would have sussed us out as they have this year. Too many times they sussed us out. The way we play tiki-taka, left, right, back, and sideways again, and here we go again. Same route. That's why we're not scoring. We have to change. I keep saying it. Tuchel's got it wrong. He has to admit he's doing it wrong, and make the system work for the players. The players have to be the system, not Tuchel. Yeah. So he got it wrong. Pep got it right, and we didn't show up at all. I forgot that game. That's goes It was only 1-0, but that's another very bad game.
Yeah, a beauty by Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne, unbelievable. We know what he can do,
Mhm.
but we didn't show up at all. It was like we didn't play. We stood still, and let City beat us. But in the previous, the times when we won 3 times, we beat them we won the Champions League, and we were a different team. We played a lot different. And it doesn't last forever. It doesn't take long for people to realize the way we play. Even Brentford found a way. Burnley, Everton, how many teams struggled with us or beat us? Arsenal, of all people, to come and beat us, like Steven said. That's another very bad game. It goes up there with
Can
the
I
top.
ask you this, Nick? If you don't mind, can
Yeah.
I ask you this quickly?
Yeah.
Why do you think that we at some point under Thomas Tuchel became very predictable, and he's refused to switch up his
because
approach?
Yeah,
Do you
because
think?
he
Do you
won't.
think? I'm still asking my question. If you don't mind, should I go
Oh,
ahead?
sorry. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, should I go ahead? I'm not fighting you. Should I go ahead?
No, yeah, go on. I'm waiting.
Okay. Now, at the time, we became very predictable, whether anybody likes it or not. The question is, does it come down to the players he has available to him? That there's nothing he can do to implement other systems that he likes, the other approaches that he likes to, deploy during games. Do you think that's the case?
That's partly the case because that's why we're going to give him a chance to get his own players, get his own first 11. We can't judge. What he did was great for us to finish third, get to 6 finals, win 2. That was brilliant for the players he had of Conte, Sarri, and Lampard players. He didn't even Lukaku. We don't know for sure if he really wanted him. He had to accept him, yeah, but we don't know. So that's why I'm giving him. I want to see next year what he does. I don't judge him at all. I like the guy. I love him. He's a man manager. As a person, he knows what to say. Comes on the press conference. They can't, do anything, to make him look bad. He has an answer for every single question they fire him. That's why I like it. Lampard didn't have that. Lampard, nowhere near, and will never be a top-class manager because he disrespected Romans when he shouldn't
Yeah, I
have.
was going to ask you for your ID
Yes.
if you didn't talk about that.
Yeah, we have to talk about that because it's important. Because we have so many Frank Lampard lovers, and they think, if it wasn't for Roman, listen to me, you lovers of Frank. I love Frank Lampard as a player, as a legend. He wore that blue shirt and fought for it with his heart. But what he did to disrespect the greatest legend of all time, Roman Abramovich, that doesn't go well with me and many other fans, I'm sure. So don't give me that crap, Super Frank Lampard.
So Nick, bring it back to our topic.
Don't say that, get relegated. You've fraud.
All right. Calm down, Nick. Calm down. I know you're pissed at him. Declare, I'm going to come to you in a bit, Steve. Declare quickly, why do you think Thomas Tuchel has now been able to switch up the formation, even though he's known, to in most cases even play 3 different formations in a single game? But he seemed to be bent on 3 at the back at this point. Why does it come? Like Nick agreed, it's partly because of the players he has. Why do you think that is? If you can comment.
I don't think people noticed there was a lot of changes. There was a lot of tweaking to the system we had. We did play 4 in the back. If anything, we changed a lot. He had to make shift for the injuries we had and try cater to some of the players. I mean, just to cater for some of the wingers we had, the wing backs had to tuck in rather than they were the width and they could go out wide. We were Tuchel was compromising for his players, and we never got to see the best out of the system. To be honest, it was all band-aid fixes and little tweaks here and there, and we did play 4 in the back. I think he changed it more than ever this season, and not for the better in most part. So that's why I'm looking forward to actually get the players that he needs for the way he wants to play, rather than all these little tweaks and changes because it could very well be that we play this system for the players we have, for the players we had when he came in, and that could. There's a strong case for that too, and maybe he wants to play a 4 in the back, and he thought this, he tried this out, and this was working when he came in, because we were a bit used to it. So we still don't know. These questions are still there, but he actually did change a lot, and even tweaked a lot of the system we have now just to cater, and they weren't that good. So if you think he didn't change it up, he did actually a lot.
Yeah, I think with that, I think we've gone now for 3 hours and 9 minutes. I think maybe we should leave the player season's ratings for tomorrow, and then we'll talk about the worst game of the season tomorrow. The poll says it is home. Most people to the home loss to Arsenal. Second most with the most percentage is Chelsea versus Madrid home. I was thinking the Brentford game. And there's a reason why I think it was the Brentford game. But I think we can quickly just look at it and then round off for the day. Let's look at this game here. I'll start with you, Nick, because the whole problem, if you ask me, you could say stemmed from the structure. Maybe the formation we played. I didn't really think it was 4-3-3 on that day, but it looks like that's the case. And that shows also whenever we try to switch up the system, especially when we still have these players in place, we have issue. Ziyech did very well that day. Havertz did. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, you could say, did well in terms of progressing the ball, but in terms of protecting defense, he was awful. And these guys, they exploited that quite well. And that's why I've always argued Ruben isn't a number 6. His touches, you enjoy seeing him passing the ball around. You enjoy seeing him dribble people on most occasions. You enjoy seeing the way he glides through the pitch. But the truth is, the basics of being a number 6, he never does that. So, Nick, what do you think? We'll round off of this one. Tomorrow we'll do the players' season ratings. What do you think happened on that day? To me, I think it's a midfield.
What's that? The Real Madrid game?
No. The home loss to Brentford.
Out to Brentford. Brentford, there's a lot of things involved. First of all, it was the protest going on outside. I was there, you know that. And the fans were coming in. Not many stopping for the protest, hardly anyone. They were going in early in the ground. Maybe Stephen was one of them, I don't know. But they were going in, drinking. They were in the pubs right opposite us. We even tried to get them over to help us protest. They didn't want to know. And inside the ground, I had my banner. I was the only one in that 40,000 capacity with my banner, as you well know. I have it on camera. And the crowd didn't help. They were subdued, dead. Not quite, they were dead. I don't know why. I think it was all to do with what was going on. And it affected the players. The players froze on that day. That's why I didn't say that was the worst performance, because they were frozen. Frozen by their fans, who didn't even sing or shout or anything. They were dead as anything. And you remember I was at the game and I was telling you about it. That was what happened at the Brentford game. It wasn't the players, it was the fans, the crowd.
Declan, do you agree that was the issue on that day?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, crystal clear.
I think I was double muted. On that day, it was one of those. What was the chances? Shot on goal. I think every shot on goal was a goal for them. It was 100% conversion rate.
Yeah, let's look at it. Let me scroll down if you want us to look at that.
If I remember right, properly. They scored 100%. Yeah.
So for expected goals, they had exactly. So I think, oh my goodness, they had a 2.20 expected xG, and we have 1.73, and this is us at home. Total shots, we have 21 shots. They had 17. 2 big chances. They had 4 big chances. And which means, let me see, big chances missed. They missed 2 big chances, and we missed 2. The pass
Are the big
accuracy, we
chances
know
shot
how
on
we pass the
goals?
ball. Sorry?
Is the big chances shot on goal?
I'm not sure. No. It's different. Again, fouls 11. Again, corners, we have more corners, but that's irrelevant. I don't think that stat is complete. Expected AC. So it wasn't 100% because they missed 2 big chances.
Yeah.
But then again, look at that. They had 4 big chances and we had just 2.
Yeah, we
And we scored
scoffed a lot
first
that game,
too,
man.
right? We scored first.
Yeah. It was an insane game. They looked like they couldn't miss, and there was a lot of. I remember going through the Eriksen goal. There was a lot of mistakes there. I think by Rudiger. I think that one was. With the way it came in.
I would blame Loftus-Cheek for that goal. He didn't close him down. Again, that's me. That's
there was a lot of people to blame, a lot of areas, and then any sniff that you gave Brentford, they put it was just going in. That scoreline didn't really reflect the game, but it was any little mistake that came that we did, we got punished for in that game. I kind of remember analysing this game a little bit, and I think there was only 4 shots on target, and they did score all 4. So
this could be wrong. This thing here could be wrong. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the big chances are the shots on goal, but it was just kind of one of those. I don't know, what do you want to call it? Maybe a freak day. That's the best way to look at it.
I think I wouldn't call it a freak day because they played well. You got to give credit.
But they played well and they couldn't miss as well. That was the crazy part of it.
But you see, I think if you say freak to me, it sounds like you were saying like, we were unlucky. No, we deserve to lose that game because the way they were coming at us, we weren't able to play. It was horrible to watch, But I get your point again. If you ask me, I would say the whole thing for me stems from the placement of the midfield. Maybe this wasn't the structure. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek was mainly in the middle section, and it didn't work. If that was an experiment, then we see that he's not a number 6. Even when he's paired, even when we play 2 6s, the way he plays the ball, the way he handles the ball, controls the ball, it looks good on the eye. It's good to watch. But in the basics of being a number 6, he doesn't do it. He's got pace. Sometimes he can put in some good tackles, but he doesn't read the game well. And it's always found, wanting whenever the opposition midfielders come at him that much. But I get your point. Stephen, your thoughts on what happened that day?
I think coming back from an international break is not easy, for one. And I just thought the players weren't ready. They weren't motivated. The protest was going on, and I think the players were not in the right mind. They were all over the place. It was a terrible game. I was there. They were just running through us, and it was too easy for them to score goals for me in that game. As soon as we went 1-0 up, we just collapsed. Yeah, that's about it, really.
You were correct, but let me ask you this. Would you say, again, it is true. You made a very great point that usually is the case. We'll be in great form, but boom, once there's an international break, everything goes down south. But in this case, given truly, he even got 7.4. But the midfield was crap for me on that day. He got 7.4 rating.
The midfield was all over.
What would you say? Yeah, he was exactly.
Yeah. I think the rating was too high for him. I don't think he was that great, to be honest.
No, he wasn't. But because he's got some good touches and with the way he moves the ball is enjoyable to watch, that probably can get you, to rate him higher than he should be rated. But that's by the way. Let's try and round off. The players we buy will have a big say on what system we play. Again, the manager himself, as we buy the player, will be buying players that will suit his system. So I don't think it will actually eventually come to the players having a say. It will be the manager the system he intends to deploy during games come next season is what will have wield a great influence on players he goes for. And again, the queen of the house here says, I do hope we get versatile players who can play in both formation. Though in terms of formation, yeah, but when you talk about versatility, sometimes I don't like that in players. It can be detrimental to younger players, and also which means that player is not specialized in a particular position. Usually that's the case. But I hope I want specialized players this season. Chelsea performance is not good. It is not overall, but we'll rate that tomorrow. Yes, I agree with Viola. The more options we have, the better. And again, it looks like Liam have learned we don't use the word backup here. Options, competition. Whoever that's in a better form starts for us. So let's start with Nick. Your final thoughts on everything we talked about today.
Yeah. Final thoughts is, I'm just waiting for Boehly to arrive. Now he's probably just waiting for a black cab. Soon he'll be getting in that cab and coming to the bridge. Probably tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. If not, it'll be by Friday. So the wait is going to come to an end. That's the main thought right now. And to see what Tuchel and Boehly do together. And it's going to be interesting to see what Tuchel does with all our players, with the tacklers, which ones he wants to keep, which ones are going, and who to bring in, who he can bring as well. We have to see who's available and everything. So yeah, it's a very big days coming at Chelsea now for a new era to begin, and it's something you can't really. We would never have dreamt this happening with Roman in the first place. No one could dream that this was going to happen. They were going to throw him out. That this English government, corrupt government, politicians in this country, they should all be hanged by the throat. And Guy Fawkes should come back to life and go and burn down Parliament houses. That's what I say. Burn it down.
Yeah, I'm not for that. I don't condone that, but I get your argument. Thank you very much, Nick. Always good to have you on the panel. So, Declan, you have the final say today. Your thoughts on everything we've talked about today?
It's not going to be final, that's for one. What we're going to talk about is what we're going to talk about all summer, and all these transfers and who's going to come in, and more arguments on who's going to be right. It's going to be crazy.
The arguments make it fun.
The arguments make it interesting because we don't know. We don't know who's going to come in. The media are going to feed. They're going to link us to every player because we're after so many players. Everyone's going to pick and champion who they want, and what happens in the end is totally out of our control. To be honest, I'm sure everyone's like that. We're going to see some of the players, and we're going to say I'd prefer him over him. But all I want is the transfer to happen quick. I don't want to wait till the end. It was something that dragged on last season, and I don't want to see the same thing. So it'll be great to talk about it and get all our thoughts and frustrations and excitement all in the stream. So I'm expecting more of today. That's my final thought.
Yep, I want it to be as intense as it is today. The argument is the reason we're here. Debate, if you prefer. There's always an opportunity to learn from everybody on the panel. I've learned quite a lot from Nick. I've learned quite a lot from Declan, especially his argument yesterday regarding the possibility of us signing Neymar, or was it 2 days ago? I've learned also quite a lot from CFC Stephen, and from the argument that CFC Marty made here. So again, if we all agree, we don't have a show. And without a debate, it won't be brilliant. Although sometimes we get so emotional and then we unknowingly insult each other because of how passionate we are, about our club. But what I'm doing right now is that I urge everybody on the panel, in the chat, see what we do here. We're here to have a discussion about our beloved club. everybody here loves Chelsea Football Club. Nobody loves Chelsea more than the others. You only love Chelsea more than those that doesn't support the club. That's the argument I will accept. So I urge us to now, as we leave the show today, to please put behind us whatever anybody on the panel has said to you or anybody in the chat said to you that came across as insulting. I'm sure that's not what it shouldn't be that way. And one thing I like about Nick, I know after this you see him talking with Declad, and I know Declad hardly takes offense whenever he's on the panel, and that's why I love him so much. But then again, sometimes our emotions can, get control of us, and it's not pretty whenever that happens. Anyway, bye-bye. He says that this is them talking. And here Declare said, True Blue, night, sweet dreams, extent. That's what I love to see. It's all, it's all an opportunity for us to discuss the issues concerning our beloved club and then come to sensible conclusions. That is just that. We're not here to insult each other. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat from True Blue, who's been brilliant with some great inputs there, and also Just Viola, everybody, Lamb, who also loves the show and always available, participate even whenever he's not here, and every other person that's been here and have left. And if I missed your name and you're still there, my apologies. I'm only a human, and I want to say thank you again, lest I forget, for the donation from Gabriel Obas. I appreciate that again. And also the donation from my brother Phantom of Many Topics. That means a lot to me and will go a long way for the chat for the channel. Thank you again. See you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning Show. God bless us all.
Thanks for having me,
bye. Bro. Welcome, bro.
See you,
We'll
man.
send you the link, so whenever you have time, you can always hop on.
Take care, yeah? Have a good day.